James H. Reeve phone in.
There's many a time I've sat in my living room and cried my eyes out because of these tattoos. I've even thought of getting a knife and cutting them off myself.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
So do you think they're going to cost an arm and an egg? These leg and an arm and an egg.
An arm and an egg? Oh, brilliant!
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
What they don't seem to realise is that respect on the street, it's not respect, it's fear.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I'm entitled to walk in my community safe and live in my own home safe, but they took that away from us.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right. Okay, that seems to be it. Hello there. Yes, back after 2 weeks of bliss, not having to put up with this. And what do we find? Looking at the events of the day. Young men being shot in the streets of Manchester. People being shot in terrorist raids in London. People being shot in the streets of Iraq. And dramatic new evidence about the death of Princess Diana. So I'm beginning to wonder, actually, whether I have been away or I've just, overslept a little bit. Anyway, here we are, back once again on a balmy evening, and James H. Reeve and Key 103 at your disposal. What else is there? We've got a backlog of stuff to get through, and a variety of offerings by post. And if you want to talk to us, then she's back and all. Oh, so Storm Chaser. Oh, everything's fine. If you want to talk about any of the events of the last 24 hours or the last fortnight, if you like, then 0161 288 0103. You might notice, obviously, because I've had a couple of weeks breather, that one or two things might have happened. Oh, what have you done now? Oh. You may find that, a little bit of being out of practice. It may mean that my operation of the technology is not quite as super slick and smooth and like greased diarrhea like it normally is. It'll take me a little while to just get back into harness. And anyway, the point is this. Never mind, we'll get you on the wireless somehow or other, not necessarily as a result of my operating matters here, but it'll happen. 0161 288 0103. Especially, obviously, and it's only, it seems like yesterday, it's a few weeks since we were doing the same thing about Salford, and then before that, other parts of Greater Manchester. But if you're from round that neck of the woods, the shooting of these two lads, we don't know what it was all about, but I did hear the familiar expression today, well, even if we didn't know what was going on, we'd probably be unlikely to tell you for a variety of reasons. I don't know. We can but speculate. We can speculate to ourselves. There is a limit to the amount of speculation we can do on the wireless, but I know what the limits are, and therefore I will tell you when you're approaching or have exceeded those limits. 0161 288 0103. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh. Nice to hear you back on air. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's from Jay Whale. Any chance of a few broadcasting hints? No, mate, I've got to have something to work with. Bricks without straw, Beardy. Slaphead. Welcome back. Missed you so much. I love you like a puppy. You're the only reason I haven't ended my life. I'm so sorry. Well, I can understand that, yeah. King James and Princess Jackie. Your humble listener servants kneel before you and pay you homage. We welcome back the innovator of the airwaves. Only now will we listen. Well, I can quite understand that as well. She's cleared off with the thing again. Here it is. Just bear with me. Right. And then that's stuff for Flick. But do you know, she was right. Do you know when she was saying, if you were listening just a few minutes ago, she was saying about dreaming about, an old girlfriend, and she was saying, no, because you've got a period of uncertainty and you're hankering back to a lost past. So don't confuse the two, you see. And I frequently dream about Colin Bell, Francis Lee and Mike Summerby. So, obviously, Flick's theory holds good, doesn't it? It stands the test. Let's see what this pillock's got to say for himself. Hello, James, and your sidekick, Jessie. Nixie did your job while you looked for Nessie. He would not answer my emails. Well, no, because he's not a violent man. I think I was too Brian-y. Oh, God's truth. I presume you mean too brainy, not Brian-y, unless he means like the sea. I told him about storms and spoke on the show. Well, obviously, we did allow our standards to slip while Nixie or Dixie or Pixie or whatever his name was. Oh, God, Katie Puckrick seems to have joined me in the room. Anyway, right, shut your face. Thanks very much indeed. Just goes to show you hope. Do you know, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. You go on holiday for a fortnight and you think, right, when I come back, new attitude, refreshed, invigorated, and I'll tell you exactly what it's like. You know when we had the millennium, 12 months early, but I'll just go along with the government line on this. We celebrated the millennium on December the 31st, 1999. It shouldn't, of course, have been till 12 months later, but never mind. Let's not go into that now. And you sort of woke up the following morning and thought, oh, a brand new millennium. Everything new, everything's changed, right? We start with a clean slate. And you open the paper, and at 2 o'clock that afternoon on Channel 4, there's another bloody black and white film made in 1942. And you think, wait a minute, isn't everything supposed to be brand spanking? But no, so you can see the parallel I'm making, can't you? We get back, and there's that lemon in Wigan. And I was just reading something just a few moments ago on the notice board about everybody famous who came from Wigan, and Wigan this, that, and the other, right? Ted Ray, a long-dead comedian, came from Wigan. Stuart McConey's from Wigan. Who else? Roy Kinnear was from Wigan. I never knew that. But, most of things, I think we can go along with those, but it actually said, and on the sporting front, Wigan Rugby League are the country's top rugby league team! Oh, dear. Anyway, right, so, have I made enough points here yet? Right. Tess Tickle says, Nixie, why does your voice sound so manly tonight? Dunno. Anyway, I'll tell you what, I understand that the stewardship of this 3 hours of nightly broadcasting was handed to someone, Wixie?
Nixie.
Hey?
Nixie.
Nixie?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Did he do afternoons as well?
No, not here.
Okay, right. And I understand a lot of it was about Big Brother. Well, okay, well, I'm lost. But I understand that Jacqueline here has been through something not unlike a sort of a floating Big Brother and actually paid for it, right? A sort of, in the Aegean or something, was it?
Turkey.
Yeah, but the sea next to Turkey.
I don't know.
Okay.
It was just bays in Turkey.
Look, she's put on a carrot-coloured wig. There's all wigs lying about. Imran put on a blonde one before. He looked like Tina Turner.
Well, there was
What's
a lot
going
of
on?
talk about wigs before we left, so I just thought I'd pick up.
I see, right. Anyway, it's like Lord of the Flies, behind the mask. And once you put on a daft wig, you can feel... Do you know, I'll tell you something. If you can get hold of a gorilla suit... I've just realised this won't interest you, but I can speak from personal experience. If you chance upon a gorilla suit and put it on...
Like you do?
Yeah.
Mm.
Say, assuming it's one that somebody hasn't been sick in.
Right.
Which was the one I got. But anyway, that doesn't matter now. And put it on at like a student disco.
Yeah.
You can run around and you can touch women anywhere you like, and they just laugh. You did it without the gorilla suit.
Gay men can do that
stabbed.
as well.
What?
Gay men can do that.
Can
Run around
they?
and yeah.
Oh, right, I have to remember that. Okie dokie. Right, oh dear me. 0161 288 0103. As you can imagine, you can probably tell that there's still a little bit of post-holiday mood about it. In other words, not really prepared myself for tonight. You know what I mean? Still wish I was on holiday. In fact, I'll tell you something, at about 6:30 tonight, it was touch and go. It was, should I ring in? Should I ring in sick? Should I ring in and say, well, you won't believe it, in the little resort of Hitchberia, where I went, that's what the Turks call it, I picked up this terrible stomach bug, and I just need another couple of days to get over it. Or I might have salmonella, and the hospital says it could be a month until I'm... Or should I just ring and say, stick your job up your backside? One or the other.
But you didn't.
No, I didn't. No. Just goes to show we all make mistakes. Anyway, the number, and I've written it down on the scenery, 0161 288 0103, and you can text if you want on 63103. I'm not stuck on that. And the email thing is, that's working, is it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Go to key103.co.uk and follow the instructions there. Is it all, that's
all working, yeah?
Yeah. I've given it everything I've got now. That's it. I'm knackered. All the recuperation and the recharging of the batteries and all this, right, a fortnight of it, and in 12.5 minutes, that's it.
Should I put another request
No,
in?
actually, allowing for the news, it's only 9.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. Diminishing returns doesn't begin to sum it up. But anyway, you and I know each other, and therefore 0161 288 0103 is our means of communication. I know, it's a balmy evening, it's just darkling at the moment, and you're still outside the boozer, or you just got back from the boozer, you've been there since dinner time, and you can't remember what the hell is going on, in which case, even more reason to give us a ring on 0161 288 0103. There are some serious matters, and there are also some observations from the world around us that I would entreaty to bring to your attention between now and 1 a.m. 1 a.m. When you say it like that, it sounds as if it is but a heartbeat away. In actual fact, it's 2 3/4 bloody hours. But never mind, I have a contractual obligation. We'll speak to a hillman, possibly, in a minute or two.
There are various ways to get hold of £25,000. You could take out an unsecured loan and combine all your debts into one easy monthly payment. Take sensible advice from Carol Vorderman or someone like that. Or you could listen out for 3 songs in a row and win with a great big fluky phone call. The £25,000 triple play, where you irresponsibly get loads of money without consulting Carol Vorderman.
Manchester's #1 hit music station. Key 103.
The Vodafone Live Hour.
It's official. Monday night is now known as the night to stay in with your radio. This week we have live tracks from Coldplay, Paul Weller, Orson and Beverly Knight, plus Paul Weller tickets that money just can't buy. And Take That Have Done It, now E17 follow. But are they still alright? And Grace Carroll will give us choices for a fantasy festival. It's the best thing going on a Monday night. So make a date with me, Joe Good, Monday night at 9.
The Vodafone Live Hour. Music's better when it's live. Key 103.
Brad and Janet came from Denton High, and that evening they met someone who would take them even higher. Of all the sin joints in all the world, they had to walk into his. Franklin Furter, he's back, and this time it's no more Sister Nice Guy. The Rocky Horror Show, alive on stage. Don't dream it, see it. For one wondrous week only, from the 12th of June at the Opera House, Manchester. Book now on 0870 401 9000.
Hi, Tom. Yeah, I'm just across the... Oh, what? I've got to go. Some car splashed mud up my shirt.
Surf gets rid of 99 top stains.
That's better.
Hello,
handsome. What a lovely clean shirt. What'd you wash it in?
What?
Come closer so I can have a look. Yeah.
Oi, my shirt!
Surf gets rid of 99 top stains and leaves your clothes irresistibly clean.
And the trousers.
No!
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Just looking through the backlog of gear which has accumulated during my spell in Hitchberia. Let's have a look. Hang on, there's some emails started. I like this bit. Shazza, welcome back. And hello, Jackie. Oh, right, okay. What's your name, mate? Says James in Manchester. Oh, James. Right. Bring Nixie back, you old fart. Right. Clear off, you tedious idiot. Right. Kiko Doll. Kiko Doyle. Kiko? No, doesn't make sense. You're no good. Go back home. Bring back my Nicky. Have a haircut on the way. You need one really bad. Right. Okay. John in Salford says, I think Key 103 slipped up during the last fortnight. They brought in a boy to do a man's job. I'm glad there's a man back in charge again. Aye, aye. The ship is in safe hands. Oh dear, well, a bit of a nautical side to things as well. Oh, that's, right, John, thanks very much indeed. Last bit's quite worrying. Phil McCracken says, have you ever been to Stamford Bridge? I think you're mixing me up with somebody else, pal. Never mind. And James says, James, I'm watching you. What you did on your holiday was horrible. I've never been the same again. I've no idea what you're talking about, you clown. However, what I can report is that there's been a massive contribution to the rubber band collection. And, oh yes, and we'll be going through them and thanking personally each contributor a little later. And we've also got one or two items of correspondence, including, frankly, what have we done with them? Oh, here they are. No, they're not. Where's they gone? She's walked. Oh, here they are. Sorry. Oh. Sorry, finished up on the deck a bit there. Whoops-a-daisy. Including a rather startling one. Listen to this. Ricky in Newcastle says, by the time you've read this, you'll have come back from your holes, to which I'd say the polite thing and say, I hope you had a nice time. But I had to send this email right now, as I'd probably forget by the time you get back. My thought was, why just not call Phil from Eccles Phil Clinton? It saves bother with the aliases, you see. That's all. Yeah, yes, I suppose it does. But then doesn't he sometimes manifest himself as Roger? I'll look into that, right? Claire in Manchester says, I'm trying to listen to your show on the internet, but every time I try, it tells me that Key 103 is only available to UK listeners. It's annoying me because I'm in Manchester. Right. I'll pass that to the head of IT, because he probably knows about things, right? Alexis in Manchester says, since coming back from holiday, I've noticed that the hours and times of your show have changed. Why? Where have you been? Alpha Centauri? No, it hasn't. I enjoy listening to you in bed on Sunday to Thursday. I'm not happy that us listeners only get 3 days a week now. Well, I don't know what you'd like. No, Alexis, there's something wrong with you, frankly, if you forgive me for saying so, because I am a qualified psychiatrist. You've obviously suffered a blow to the head, because last week you got none of me, and from now until I can't stand it anymore, which will be in the very near future, I would think, you get me 5 nights a week. So, you need looking at. Thank you. Jesus Christ, can we have a specific date for the return of James? I'm losing the will to live. Well, it's all right now. Don't do anything foolish. Another report on the Americans spraying us with mind-altering chemicals, but he won't come on and talk about it. Right. Doug in London says, hello, James. Many years no hear. Thank God for Tinternet. We Southerners are being deprived of your shows. I demand forthwith, hitherto, and whatever, that you broadcast nationwide so that all may participate in the rubber band mystery. God bless Dougie. Thank you. And then there's the same message again because I inadvertently printed it twice. And this is the interesting thing. Listen to this. Listen to this. Right. Relax, Nixie. Just relax. You sound a little tense. Would one of my baby oil massages get you all relaxed? Just put yourself in my hands and leave the rest to me. I'll be gentle with you. At first, anyway. You naughty man. And that is from Sue in Denton. Oh, yes, yes. The very same, the same Sue from Denton. The one who sends not dissimilar messages to me. I turn me back for 5 minutes. Well, I know. Yeah, Nixie does that. But I turn me back for 5 minutes, and what happens? You see? Did you think I wouldn't find that? Did you think you'd get away with that? So we now know you for what you are, Sue. Don't we? Okay? Don't come talking to me. Is there anything else? No, nothing whatsoever. Good, right, thank you. Are we going to talk to... oh, I don't understand that. I think the system's gone. Just let me confer. Is that it? Yeah, but what does all that mean? Yeah, but what does all that mean? Oh dear, I hope it's not going to be one of those nights. I've no idea what's going on. Is somebody on the phone?
Yeah.
Who's that?
It's Pep.
Hello, Pep.
How you doing?
Terrible.
Right. I want to talk about genetics.
Genetics?
Yeah.
Oh, right, go on.
Right. We already know we can genetically modify animals, you know, for different milks and genetically modifying a cow for its spider web, you know, putting a spider gene in a cow.
A spider gene in a cow?
So we can get web out the milk to make it more powerful. It was on BBC Learning Zone about 3 years ago.
Right, that's on in the very small hours of the morning, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we cross a cow with a spider.
And you get a cow web, which is...
A cow web?
No, you get a cow.
Yeah.
But instead of getting the milk out, you're getting web out of it, aren't you?
Oh, so it can spin a gigantic web?
Yeah.
In 10-acre field?
Well,
and catch...
no. You squeeze the web out, don't you, with the milk?
Yeah.
And you use the web so you can lift up aeroplanes or something. That's what we're using it for.
Right, so it's a... So you've got a cow...
Yeah.
Out of its teats, like...
Yeah.
You've got a gigantic spider web coming out.
Yeah.
Right. And you can catch holiday makers in it.
It makes it strongest because the web's strong. It's supposed to be the strongest thing on earth, isn't it?
Right, okay. Or you could get a spider that lies down when it's going to rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So we already know we can modify different animals with different other animals.
Right.
So why can't we genetically modify viruses so that they can go and kill all the other viruses? You know, like the AIDS virus.
Well, you'd have to talk them into it.
Right. But failing that...
Mind you, I mean, Hitler was very persuasive, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, do you think we should modify the human race?
Do I think we should modify it? I think we should exterminate it.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, what we can do is, we can genetically modify everyone so they're all the same colour, like blue, and then make them all asexual so they don't have to go into relationships. And
no, don't just let me stop you there. I'll go along with the that business, the blue business.
Yeah.
Sky blue, preferably.
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad you said that rather than red.
Well, you can make all the men dark blue and all the women light blue. Because you don't want asexual, do you?
Well, no, I see. No, apart from the sky blue business, the next bit I was coming to was the old. Because you've got to have a bit of the old favourite. You know what I mean?
But if you're asexual, you won't need it, will you?
But what about the people who are still here?
Oh, right. Well, what we do is, once we genetically modify these people, we'll make sure they can't get, viruses that kill people. Well, we can put them into them so they don't kill anyone. Then we could drop a big, massive virus bomb on the planet, kill everyone all off, and then we got all the good people who were genetically modified to make the human race much better.
This is a very, very interesting theory, this.
And the good thing about it, right, you can modify people from ants, can't you? And get the motivation. So everybody's got motivation. So there won't be any ghost boys on the door or anything like that.
Well, everyone would be walking around carrying huge leaves.
Oh, rocks.
Yeah, over their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well,
no one will be on the door then, will they?
No.
Motivational.
No. And I tell you what happens with ants. In fact, this was explained to me, is that what happens is once a year, all the ants, you might have seen this, they all swarm, don't they? They all grow wings temporarily and start swanning about everywhere, doing figures of 8 all over the show.
Yeah.
And what happens is that they all fly away and they leave just a few behind, and the ones that stay behind, they turn into queens.
Yeah.
And that's apparently that's what happened at the BBC. I'm told. That's it's a scientific fact, that.
But all we will be getting off the ant is the motivation. We won't be getting any wings or anything like that.
Okay.
We'll get them off the birds.
Right.
So we can fly everywhere instead of driving.
Well, you may be painting a picture of the future here.
Yeah.
Or then again, you may just be out of your box. Possibly, I don't know. Have you taken any non-prescription drugs in the recent past?
I can't take them.
Oh, okay. Right.
I get paranoid if I do.
Okay. Well, that's the last thing we want in the circumstances. So the theory is, just run me through this again. We can genetically modify a cow with spider genes, so it spins a dirty great web.
And it's strong as well.
Strong. 1,000 times stronger than steel, isn't it, spider's web, apparently, pound for pound, and etc., etc. Okay. So, therefore, genetic modification is the answer to it. Can I tell you something? Let me tell you something, seriously.
Yeah.
I am dead serious now.
Right.
And when I say that, I really am. Normally, I don't believe any of this. Apart from what you can see, touch, hear and feel and taste, there's nothing going on. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Right, okay. But I did have a moment of doubt. And it works like this. Have you seen the film 2001?
Space Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where they've got that thing. And when they discover it, like, they learn to make weapons. And then when they get to the moon, they find another one. And that tells the people who put the monolith there that they've reached a certain stage of development.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next one's on Jupiter and all that. Well, I had a moment of distinct unease when we discovered the genome. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Because I thought, just for a moment, I thought, what if that's a similar thing? Let's imagine that we were created by something intelligent, and it put inside us this secret code. And the test of how well we developed was whether we would break this code. You see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
It turned out to be a load of crap. But, just for a moment, I thought, there you go. Well, that's lovely. Are you a qualified scientist?
No, I'm a paranoid. I'm on the sick.
A paranoid?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I've got some screws loose upstairs.
Yes, well, I wouldn't have used quite those terms in these days of sensitivity.
And now I'm going to see a specialist in Sheffield.
Really?
That's how bad it is.
Well, if I were you, I wouldn't mention this theory. Otherwise, I'll keep you in.
Yeah.
That's just my advice, friendly advice, really.
Right, yeah.
Right, and Key 103 can accept no responsibility for any sectioning under the Mental Health Act. There we are, thank you. That's Pep, starting us on our way this evening with an interesting look at the future of humanity. Right, I'm not going to tie us down to that particular subject. You may want to broaden it. 0161 288 0103. Entirely serious matters here, which I've can't quite put my hand on. Oh, God, she's been in again. She's always tidying. She's always throwing things away. And, of course, the thing is, you never know when you'll need them. Don't throw that bit of lead piping away. It might, I've lost it. Oh, here we are. This is the big news story of the day. Is obviously these shootings in Ardwick are yesterday, Saturday. This was about 10 to midnight last night on Billing Avenue in Ardwick Green. A silver car pulled up. Several shots were fired. It's believed that there were 4 or 5 men in the car. One of the men got out of the car, fired shots towards the group of teenagers who were standing there. A 15-year-old boy from Ardwick suffered 5 gunshot wounds to his chest, back, groin, buttock and thigh, and he is in a serious but stable condition in hospital. A 13-year-old boy from Longsight suffered a gunshot wound to his leg. He's in a stable condition in hospital. How long is it? You'll know. How long is it since we were talking about the shootings in Salford?
I'd say a couple of months.
A couple of months?
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem that things are improving. Hand in hand with this is, of course, the knife amnesty. And I don't know, I suppose it's an interesting one, this. There's been a lot of talk about why people carry knives. Is it on the increase? Is it not? I don't know. The purpose of this amnesty, I'll tell you something interesting. What does it change? If you're going to have an amnesty, it's only the people who... Well, the people who intend carrying knives and using them...
Are still going to...
Yeah, an amnesty is not going to make any difference. And yet, apparently, something like 10,000 knives and various edged weapons have been handed in. Now, I don't know what the motivation is of the people who have done so. Maybe they feel better. I don't know. If you've handed something in, or if you know people who carry knives, if you carry one yourself, then perhaps you'd like to talk about the thinking behind it. They've been described as a fashion accessory. People have said that people carry them for self-defense, protection, what have you. The amnesty business, a long time ago, there was a geezer, and there'll be some people listening who remember this bloke, there'll be some who don't. If you don't remember him, then listen and learn. A very, very popular entertainer, a bloke called Frankie Vaughan, which is nowadays, of course, it's rhyming slang for prawn.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Right.
But it wasn't in those days. He was the Robbie Williams of his day. And, but he came from a rough background. And there was actually, this knife business isn't new. There was a terrible carry-on in Glasgow, and they were known as razor gangs. And one of the favourites, the weapon of choice, was, I bet you've never seen one, have you? You might have seen them in cowboy films. The old cutthroat razor.
No.
You've not seen them?
No. What do they look like?
Where the blade opens out of a handle. And it was for shaving with.
Oh, yes,
but obviously it was as sharp as a razor blade.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And Frankie Vaughan, as I suppose people are entitled to when they become rich and famous, instead of just squandering it all on stupid parties, he decided to do a bit. And he went to Glasgow. I think he might have been a Scouser, actually, Frankie Vaughan, originally. He came from a rough part. And he went to Glasgow, and he declared an amnesty. And him and some mates went round with dustbins.
collecting our
Yeah,
people.
saying to people, come on. And people did. And it actually, in the short term, but actually people did sort of come to the senses and say, oh, yeah, OK, fair enough.
But they had
and
a
turn them in.
gun amnesty only recently in Manchester. And judging by yesterday's events, it doesn't seem to have made much difference.
I think these amnesties, they may perhaps nip some people in the bud. They may persuade some people who are on the cusp to have second thoughts. But someone who's determined to use a weapon is, they're not going to bother. In fact, they're probably having a good laugh, I would have thought.
I don't think gangs will hang them in, will they?
No. It will probably be the concerned individual, I would think. Someone who's wondering whether to make that choice about the sort of life that they want to lead. Anyway, 0161 288 0103. We've put this before you. If you're round about the Ardwick area and you've been aware of these goings on, then 0161 288 0103. We're off to where's Tony from? Have we stopped?
Swinton.
Is the new method here?
It seems to be failing somewhat. He's in Swinton anyway.
Is he?
Yeah.
OK then, right. We'll be talking to Tony in Swinton in a moment on Key 103. It's 22 minutes to 11.
Key 103 and Nokia Rock Up and Play, bringing people together to share and enjoy upcoming music talent. Listen to Debbie Mack from 7 p.m. next week for a chance to win Carling Weekend Leeds Festival tickets and a Nokia 3250. Plus, get to Jabez Clegg on June 13. Local bands and DJs and Nokia's Rock Up and Play stage, with a chance for any band to rock up and show off their talent. Nokia, sharing your passion for music on Key 103.
I'm in Bloomingdale's, New York, to find out how the locals shop.
Oh my God, girlfriend, you look so fabulous. So you've got to put it on Daddy's charge card.
Looks like it's blooming good here.
To sample the real New York, check out airlinenetwork.co.uk. You can fly direct with Delta from Manchester to New York from just £255. Plus exclusive deals available to Boston, Miami, Orlando, Tampa, and many more. Visit airlinenetwork.co.uk today to book your exclusive deal with Delta Airlines.
This is the Stories' self-titled album. Wonderful songs and instinctively beautiful harmonies. An incredibly accomplished debut album. Includes the singles Be By Your Side and Cinnamon. A band with live performances not to be missed. Catch the Stories on the road with Elton John this summer. The Stories album is a perfectly polished J. It's out now.
Hi, a copy of The Guardian, please. Sure.
Hey, you're Sven-Goran Eriksson.
No, my name is Bob.
No, you're not. You're Sven.
No,
Hey, Evie, Sven-Goran Eriksson's in our shop. You know, manager of the England football team.
No, I am a farmer.
What's he doing?
I have many sheep.
He's buying The Guardian.
And goats, many sheep and goats.
See?
Oh, so it is. Why's he buying The Guardian?
And llamas.
Find out how to win the World Cup in the essential 100-page guide. Free with The Guardian tomorrow.
RAC Patrolman Nick Samuels.
If ever you break down on the motorway with your family, promise me one thing. Never ever stay in your car. I know it's not nice out there, but get everybody up on the verge and you'll be much safer. And we'll promise to come to you as a priority call-out.
For expert breakdown assistance, join RAC Rescue. Call 0800 722 822 or visit rac.co.uk. P103 are bringing Pink's I'm Not Dead tour to Manchester this November. Tickets are on sale now, so don't miss out. Call the Key 103 ticket line on 08701 223 103 or book online at aloud.com. Pink at the MEN Arena on Sunday the 5th of November. Only with Manchester's official concert station, Key 103.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Well, you know, life's full of surprises, and we seem to have shot off on a completely different tack. Thanks to Pep, of course, who, well, can't deny it, he's been the catalyst who set us off tonight. Mike Adam in, Mike Adam. I suppose I should say Tarmac Adam. Tarmac Adam. In Gainsborough
Don't get that.
Right. This is in the light of what Pep was saying. He says, I've just discovered a huge cow in the bath.
Oh.
No? Tony in Swinton.
Good evening.
Good evening. We've had to switch.
Welcome back, James. Have you had a good holiday?
I've had a splendid... Do you want to ask me where I've been?
Yeah, where have you been?
Well, I'll tell you.
Well, where?
Have you ever...
Well, it doesn't matter. You know, before I talk about my main thing, you was talking about Frankie Vaughan a minute ago.
Frankie Vaughan.
Right. Well, there used to be a comedian called Matt McGinn in Scotland, and he was before Billy Connolly, but Billy Connolly was very much like him, you know, singing and that kind of stuff. And he once sung a song about that Frankie Vaughan coming to Glasgow, and it was, I can't even remember the words exactly, but it went to the tune of Ebony Eyes, and it was all about Frankie Vaughan coming out of the skies on this plane and landing and doing this nice amnesty.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, Matt McGinn, I've got the tape somewhere.
Matt McGinn?
Matt McGinn, yeah, he was a very much... very, very good Scottish comedian. He was a school teacher, and he did this guitar, you know, at the time when there was Jasper Carrott and Billy Connolly and Bernard Wrigley and them kind of people. Yeah. And he died in a fire.
Of course, did he?
Yeah, and he used to do things like, you know, our roof had a hole in it, and it took me 3 hours to eat the soup and stuff like that. And, you know, we had otters in that bathroom and stuff like this.
Oh, because of the... Yeah, well, that was...
I'll send you the tape if you want.
No.
No, okay, fair enough.
And, of course, Bob Williamson did a version of Ebony Eyes called Holland's Meat Pies. Do you remember that?
That was right, yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. It was just kind of like, it was just something just weird, abstract. Frankie Vaughan arriving in Glasgow, and all Frankie Vaughan of all people, you know.
Yeah, that's true, that.
Give me the moonlight, give me the girl, and all this.
Apparently so.
Anyway,
yes.
Where did you go for your holidays? Anywhere nice?
It was, well, I'll tell you what, the Turks call it Hiçbiriye. But Hiçbiriye it's called, but you might know it better by the Greek name is Dospedimu.
Oh yeah.
Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't like to say it when I've had a few drinks, but you know, I get the gist.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not, you know. I go there most years, in actual fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one place I've never been to, Turkey. I always go to Las Vegas myself.
Oh, do you really? Aye. What for?
Well, it's a great place, fantastic. Lots of entertainment, you know. You can go there, you'll always see a good show, you know. It could be Tom Jones or...
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Well, yeah, or what's the other fellow? The one I never heard of him before I went there. The big singer, the Lancashire guy, what's his name?
Who?
The guy who sang Lancashire.
Lancashire?
Yeah. What was his name?
Tom Jones?
No,
you just said Tom Jones.
He was in one of the Bond movies. He was in one of the Bond movies. The one where he played like the drug dealer. The one who used to come on the screen and say, today we have raised so much. Well, what's his name?
I've no idea. This is like talking to Dorothy.
The one with the white cat?
No, not him. It'll come to me. He's really famous in America, but I've never heard of him here. He's like the American Cliff Richard type. Anyway.
Not a clue. Jack Benny.
Well, he's on anyway. He's on there.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, that was an unforgettable experience, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Gladys Knight and Frankie Valli and all the good old people. They're fantastic, you know. Can't beat the good oldies, you know.
So, hey, Gladys Knight. Was it Gladys Knight?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was Martha Reeves.
Oh, met her.
Yeah.
And the Vandellas.
Yeah. Well, one of the Vandellas looks about 18.
Yeah.
And another thing, he was white.
Yeah.
And she came on at I think it was Fagin's. She came on stage and said, you know, and do you know they arrived? You know, at one time, like artists, they used to arrive.
Artists.
Yeah. With there'd be like a convoy, wouldn't they, of Pantechniconians had arrived with them.
Yeah.
With all the gear in. Anyway, who was telling me? George McRae.
George McRae.
He bowled up at Fagin's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you where else he went as well. He went to the Bull in Waterden.
Well, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
And so the bloke who ran the place, he's looking over George McRae's shoulder for all the, you know, like all the set and the musicians and everything. And George McRae puts his hand in his jacket pocket and pulls out a cassette and gives it him. Just as they are.
I remember the artist, Wayne Newton.
Wayne Newton. I thought he was a hypnotist.
And that's what I thought, and apparently he's a big star in the States.
Andrew Newton's a hypnotist.
Yeah, that's the hypnotist. Well, that's what I thought. And what's he doing here, a hypnotist? But anyway, that was his name.
Anyway, Martha, no relation, Martha comes on the stage at Fagin's and says, "Good evening, Birmingham." Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
So anyway, what's going on here?
Well, what I want to... There's a gentleman on talking about, genetically engineering cows and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put forward a theory that maybe intelligent life forms visited the Earth, centuries ago, and genetically engineered a form of ape, to make us. Because if you look at the most intelligent form of ape, it's anywhere near the most, less intelligent form of human being. There doesn't seem to be a link between the two.
Well, I'd reserve...
It's like we just jumped out of the fire.
I'd reserve judgment on that until the World Cup's over.
Well, yeah. But, when you think about it, now gold came to Earth in the form of meteoric gases. Now it's...
Whoa.
No, let me just make the point.
I'm not that wheelchair guy.
No, it's very simple. Now, it's got properties that we're not yet aware of.
What?
Now, maybe we've been programmed to mine gold or something, because apparently some theories say that gold has got properties that, that is essential to advanced space travel and stuff. It's just a theory.
Heather
When you read the book Chariot of the Gods and you see...
Oh, no, whoa, don't quote Chariot of the Gods at me, that charlatan, Eric von Daniken. You're not using that as the basis of your research, are you?
No, anyway, you talk about genetically engineering cows. So the two cows talking, one said, "Have you heard about this mad cow disease?" The other one says, "Well, it won't bother me, I'm a duck."
Thank you. It said it doesn't bother me. So oh dear me. Look, Eric von Daniken, Chariot of the Gods. How long ago is it now? It's 30 odd years ago, isn't it, right? Yeah. He reckoned these, all this stuff. He was another one who was mixed up with Charles Berlitz. And basically, they'd print books about mysterious things. And if they weren't mysterious enough, they'd make them more mysterious so that people would buy them. And it worked quite well, because Eric von Daniken made a packet. And these, and it has to be said, they are extraordinary phenomena. These huge depictions in South America of stylized animals, spiders and all this sort of thing on the deck. Right? Now somebody reckoned that they actually worked out what they were. Obviously they're not alien, that wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. But somebody worked out what the purpose was, and there's some sort of tribal thing. But anyway, one of the things that Eric von Daniken did to try and prove his theory was that he produced these strange, unearthly rocks with these symbols, with miniature replicas of these symbols on them. And there was a TV documentary about this, and he's saying this rock is from another planet and what have you. And then somebody went and found the bloke who makes them, who was like an out-of-work Inca or Aztec or something, whatever's left of them, And he showed you that he's got a little workshop, and he gets nice stones and he colours them with boot polish, and then draws these symbols and sells them to tourists. So there.
Well shot down.
Yeah, so that's all crap.
Anyway, I was reading in the paper, they're coming out with all these inventions now that, they're very close to making a bionic arm and all this, and bionic bodies, just like Steve Austin.
Well,
good job his name wasn't Leyland. He'd never have got built, would he?
He'd have built... He's okay, but the ashtray's full.
Well, no, they think they can beam things from one place to another, and they're going to invent an invisible cult.
An invisible what?
An invisible cult, so that you can't be seen.
Oh, right.
Some highly polished mirrors or something, you know, that sort
right. So you mean a cloak of invisibility, not an invisible coat?
No, an invisible coat. You put it on, you know, with there's pants to it and everything, and a helmet.
Yeah.
It's a suit, really, and you put it on, and you're totally invisible. It's all mirrors. You know, it's the angles of the mirrors and everything.
Well, it sounds as if it probably needs a bit of work on it yet. But an invisible coat would be
I mean, you've seen them things where you...
I'll tell you, look, if you invented an invisible coat, there would be pros and cons. First of all, you could walk about in winter and look really hard.
Yeah.
If you'd got just... right?
Yeah.
So look at him, he's only got a T-shirt on.
But if you forgot where you put it...
But yeah, if you put it down, you're knackered.
Well, yeah,
if you went to a club, you'd just see a ticket suspended in mid-air, wouldn't you?
Well, you've seen them things. Have you seen them things? They're like a football, about the size of a football, and you put a coin in it, and then it looks like it's in mid-air, and you try and grab the coin, and it's not there. It's all mirrors. You know, it projects an image of the coin, you know, above.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you know, talking about mirrors, I had this girlfriend once, and I went round, and she had all mirrors on the ceiling.
Here we go.
And she said, why don't you come round next week and bring a bottle with you? So I took some Windolene.
Aye, thank you. What's this? This is like a cross between, one flew over the cuckoo's nest and the good old days, isn't it?
Well,
it's good to be back.
Yeah, I tell you what, do you know, I can't tell you. I can't find the words to tell you how much I've missed doing this for 3 hours a night over the last fortnight. I kept ringing up saying, can I come back? And said, no, it'll spoil the budget, and you need the rest. You need the break.
You took your bucket and spade, yeah?
Yeah. To Das Speedamoo. Someone's just sent in, what's it called in English? Well, it isn't called anything in English. That's what they call it there. Right? It's like a Greek bloke saying, what's Blackpool called, really? To be honest, or Grange over Sands. Anyway, go away now. There we are, that was Tony. If you'd like me to summarise what Tony was getting at, well, I wouldn't know where to start, to be honest with you. Thank you. It's 6 minutes to 11. It's James H. Reeve on Key 103. If you've just got back from an extended sojourn in the boozer, then it's over. The holidays are finished. I'm back here. We are fettered to a corpse, as the saying goes. In fact, that was... I spent a lot of time relaxing by watching a 26-part documentary on the First World War, which I think anyone, you know... Don't you find that loosens you up? Right. And, yeah, it was von Falkenhayn who said we are... on the alliance with Austria-Hungary, he said we are fettered to a corpse. And I know how he felt. But anyway, one of us... It's like that film where... Who is it? It's the... what's it called? Is it called the Desperados? Or it's a Sidney Poitier and another fella, and they escape from a chain gang, but they're still shackled together, and they have to take it in turns to drag each other through the swamps. Yeah, he has to be pulled through the Everglades. So we might as well. Oh, you're doing nothing, are you? Nothing else? And I'll be perfectly honest that. There are a million places I'd rather be, a million, and probably the outskirts of Baghdad is amongst them. Nonetheless, I have certain commitments to honour. 0161 288 0103. Serious or silly, frivolous or Right, back in a second.
Chillin' in the morning. Back tomorrow from 6 on Manchester's Key 103.
This is the Stories self-titled album. Wonderful songs and instinctively beautiful harmonies. An incredibly accomplished debut album. Includes the singles Be By Your Side and Cinema. A band with live performances not to be missed. Catch the Stories on the road with Elton John this summer. The Stories album is a perfectly polished gem. It's out now.
Keep it
are trying to sleep!
Visit direct.gov.uk/mycouncil to find out about reporting a noise nuisance, broken streetlights, damaged pavements, graffiti, and much more. Connect to your local council at direct.gov.uk/mycouncil.
Hi, Gary. Yeah, I'm running late. Dan spilt ketchup down my shirt. I'll see you in 10.
Surf gets rid of 99 top stains.
Nice and clean. Gary, I'm on my way.
Hi, gorgeous.
All right, girls.
Your shirt looks lovely and clean. What, do you wash it in?
What?
Can we take a closer look?
Oi!
That's really clean.
Surf gets rid of 99 top stains and leaves your clothes irresistibly clean.
And the trousers.
No!
This is delicious.
Darling,
Hmm?
did you know that Anthony and Cleopatra stayed here in Gokova too?
In Turkey? How come?
They were on honeymoon as well.
They obviously had good taste too.
Turkey, the Mediterranean, and more.
Hi, a copy of The Guardian, please.
Sure. Hey, you're Sven Goran Eriksson.
No, my name is Bob.
No, you're not. You're Sven.
No,
Hey, Evie, Sven Goran Eriksson's in our shop. You know, manager of the England football team.
No, I am a farmer.
What's he doing?
I have many sheep.
He's buying the Guardian.
And goats, many sheep and goats.
See?
Oh, so it is. Why's he buying the Guardian?
And llamas.
Find out how to win the World Cup in the essential 100-page guide. Free with The Guardian tomorrow.
Beep, 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 beep. Introducing BE from Budweiser. A new drink with a mix of caffeine, ginseng and guarana with 5% ABV and a crisp fruit taste. Grab a BE. Now let's mix it up. The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, I'll get one of those. Text message here. They're going to have an amnesty on offensive wigs and hairpieces. Will you be handing yours in, James?
Started already. Some emails have come in. This one's from the Rubber Band Man in Ashton.
Oh.
What's the coldest ground in the Premiership?
The coldest ground. Oh, this is a joke, isn't it?
Apparently so. And the answer is Cold Trafford. That's rubbish.
Whoa. Am I missing something? Is there more to that than meets the eye?
I don't think so.
No, there isn't.
No, it's just rubbish.
No.
Hi, Jackie. Can we hear about your holiday? What was it like to be travelling the world as an A-list celebrity for 2 weeks? How was Las Vegas and Hollywood? Give us all the gossip.
Well, actually, I'll come back to that. Go on.
Okay. Sue in Denton.
Oh, yeah, Sue in Denton. Oh, hi. What? It was addressed to whom it may concern.
This one's addressed
to anything that's got a pulse.
Actually, it's generic. It says, hello, honey. So maybe she's just playing it safe.
Oh, it's one of those generic modifications. Right.
She says, you marvellous hunk of a man, please can you slip your shirt off live on air so I can listen to all that bronzed all over tan? I bet nobody has a physique like yours on the beach. Let those muscles ripple, you hunk. Missed you.
Please fill in name here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew in Wrexham says, where did you go on holiday? Was it Wrexham?
No.
Okay.
No. It was Hitchberia.
Samad in Hyde. You people are rip-offs. The reason I don't phone-ins is because you and your team charge too much. I was going to have a good chat about a very, very interesting subject about Americans and touch on the subject of racism increasing day by day, but I'm not going to, as you charge too much. I think he's got it wrong, hasn't he?
I think he's confusing us with one of these stations which charges like 10 pence a minute. Or is it 10 pence a minute?
Some of them charge more.
Yeah. No. Listen, numbnut. This is how it works. Give us a ring. It costs you about tuppence, and then we ring you back.
Yeah, we ring you back.
Right? So think about that before you start sending snotty emails to people. Check your facts.
Do
you know, this holiday's done me good.
Has, hasn't it? Yeah.
I couldn't knock the skin off a rice pudding. If I'd have had to come into work that Sunday, so two Sundays ago, I'd have snuffed it. Honestly. I'd have just sat here.
There on the
I would have
Thursday,
just given up. I'd have just, it was just, he died of a broken heart.
Oh.
No, he died of terminal bloody futility. and loose stools. Which actually...
Loose stools?
Yeah, do need to talk to somebody about.
No, I was going to tell you something, but I won't. Dave and Swinton.
Oh, was that a holiday story?
It should be. You think when you go on holiday, that's the time when you get food poisoning.
As a rule, yeah.
Right, but I went away, came back.
Or unless you go to, unless you play for Spurs, yeah.
Yeah. Came back, thought I'd be really good and did the cooking for a week and got food poisoning.
Really?
Yeah. Really bad over the last couple of days.
Just coughed and you thought you were on holiday again?
It was a prawn curry.
Oh dear.
Well, I don't think it was a properly cooked prawn
You mean
curry.
a Frankie Ruby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frankie Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Probably wrong.
Frankie Vaughan.
Frankie. Yeah.
Yeah, Ruby Murray.
Curry.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Was it in Menov?
I don't want to talk about it.
Was there a lot of Menov in it?
No, I'm not talking about it.
Oh, I'm just talking about the food. Do you like lots of Menov in it?
What's that?
Men of Harlech. Zulu was on. Zulu was on over the holidays. What? Hey. We got it via satellite.
Yeah.
I just remembered. Yeah.
I take the curry omnibus when I got back.
Oh, Anne says, dear James, well done on winning Eurovision.
Oh, yeah.
I have been busy. You shut your face.
David Swinton says, hi James, welcome back. You know the Q103 Dorothy competition that was running when you left? A one-legged man with teeth and lips. We never got to the bottom of it, really.
Yeah, a one-legged man with teeth.
Is it still running? And if so, is the answer George Sanders? We'll have to speak to Dorothy about it.
George Sanders hasn't got one leg, had he?
I don't know.
A one-legged man with teeth?
Was it a one-legged man?
I can't remember now. Dorothy, you'll have to bring us up to date, missus. Right, God, there's a Hillman trying to get through there. I don't know. Right. What do you call a celibate Irishman? Feckless. Ha ha. Okay. Lots of people telling me that invisible things were invented. Yeah, possibly. We can supply you fabric. Right. Oh, we can supply you with fabric that special forces use that makes you invisible to infrared, thermal and night vision cameras, says Mick in Freckleton, which is in Freckleton, Derbyshire, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, thanks very much indeed. Send it to me. Although, if you send it to me, how will I know when it arrives? You see, you think you know everything. On a serious matter, talking about gangs, Manchester is the worst place for gangs according to statistics. Oh, and who's the 13-year-old boy from Longsight who was shot in that Ardwick shooting? My best friend is 13 and lives in Longsight. Well, please find out. Well, we can't tell you anything that until Greater Manchester Police tell everybody else. So, right? My nan carries a machete. I don't believe that for a moment. I think you're being deliberately mischievous. And, James, can you ask your ardent listeners if they know the fit, sprightly young man who was streaking down Wilmslow Road last night? And is he going to do it again? Thank you, says Dawn in Rusham. I don't know. Right, a streaker. Not as fashionable as it used to be, and they seem to have stamped it out at cricket matches now, don't they? As indeed they've stamped out England winning. But fit, sprightly young man, well, it can't have been me, because I never went out last night. Fit, sprightly young man streaking down Wilmslow Road last night, presumably in Rusham. I don't know, Dawn. We'll try and find out for you, missus. That's not a problem at all, which is what people say. If you ask for a pound of onions, could I have a pound of onions, please? Yeah, that's no problem. What do you mean? Yeah, that's no problem at all. Well, of course it's not. There's a load of onions there, and it says 38 pence a pound, so give us a pound. Yeah, that's not a problem. What's the matter with people? Right. Can't read that, can't read that. Can't read that. Gonna turn Big Brother on. Oops, dear. That's gone. Oh, God. Can't find it now. Oh, well, bugger that. Not bothering. Let's, should we talk to a Hillman? Oh, no. Oh, no. No. We've got to go to Doncaster in a second. Hang on. We're going to speak to somebody in Doncaster. Can you guess who it is, boys and girls?
Key 103.
This is The Stories' self-titled album. Wonderful songs and instinctively beautiful harmonies. An incredibly accomplished debut album. Includes the singles Be By Your Side and Cinnamon. A band with live performances not to be missed. Catch The Stories on the road with Elton John this summer. The Stories album is a perfectly polished gem. It's out now.
Hello? Phil, hi, it's Mike from work. I just need you to go over your accident one more time for the record.
Again?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was standing on a crate fixing a junction box. Crate collapsed, I fell, hurt my back.
And how far did you fall again?
Oh, about a foot.
Sorry, how many feet?
1. I'm on loudspeaker, aren't I?
Yes, you are!
Pain's not all you feel when you fall from a low height. Every month, over 170 people discover that even a low height can be a high risk. For useful safety information, visit hse.gov.uk/falls. Take a moment. Not a fall.
Beep, 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 beep. Introducing BE from Budweiser. A new drink with a mix of caffeine, ginseng and guarana, with 5% ABV and a crisp fruit taste. Grab a BE. Now let's mix it up. The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Thank you. Bob in Rusholme, Mike in Longsight. Tough. Oh, Gary in Doncaster.
James!
Hello, is there a delay?
Have you missed me?
Is the geostationary satellite above Doncaster? Can't it get through?
Listen.
What?
I didn't phone in while you were away because I didn't want to spoil myself.
All right.
Hey?
Nature's beaten you to it, hasn't it?
Listen.
What?
You said you'd got loose stools.
I did, yeah.
It's better than having constipation. If you'd got constipation, we wouldn't be able to hear what you said.
Oh, dear. Have you just worked that out?
Listen.
What?
This leper said to the prostitute, keep the tip.
Yes.
That's good, isn't it?
No, it's rubbish.
It's brilliant. Hey, listen.
What?
I've been doing a little bit of detective work.
Jiggery-pokery, yeah.
Now, I'm not interested in where you've been for your holidays.
Right.
I'm interested in where Jackie's been.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, do you know why?
Why?
Because before you went on holiday, right, we had that argument about 2/3. And I said you sleep 8 hours out of every 24.
Yeah.
And Jackie straight away said, well, we don't.
Who doesn't?
Well, I assume she meant you two. Now, I want to know how she knew how long you slept. Because it's a bit of a coincidence you've both been away for the same fortnight.
Well.
And I'll give you another piece of evidence. See?
Yes.
She said before you went away, I'm going to miss you, James, over the holidays, but if I'm really honest, not very much. No, I think there's another clue there.
A clue?
Yeah.
Well, look.
Is there something we should know about?
No. Look, it's just a silly thing. I mean, for heaven's sake, you've seen When Harry Met Sally, haven't you?
Yeah.
Eh?
Eh?
In fact, have you seen I don't know. It's in this month's edition of my catalogue that I get. It's apparently it's a new version called When Dirty Harry Met Sally.
Do you know something?
No.
You sound as if you've gone into a panic now.
No, not at all.
You're all in a flap.
No, I'll tell you why. Don't talk about flaps. Because look, I am now looking at a compact disc. You know when I said I've been opening the post that had arrived while I've been away?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've opened the.
Hey!
I've opened the post.
Don't change the subject.
Oh, yes.
Hey?
No, I must do.
You're sidestepping it, aren't you?
No.
Oh, yes, you are.
No.
Hey, listen.
What does interest me...
Listen, you're waffling, right? Jackie's gone quiet.
She's left the room...
Really?
To attend to certain administrative matters.
How convenient. I reckon I've touched a nerve.
We're a close-knit team, and honestly, if that... it's just the silly way... If people can't have a positive working relationship without all this silly tittle-tattle...
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Go on, you were trying to sidestep the issue.
I opened the post, I opened my backlog.
Yeah.
Because I have got a backlog.
Right, yeah.
And I opened it up, and what falls out of this package, after some difficulty, because it has been wrapped in a rather obsessive-compulsive fashion.
So as not to be damaged.
If you don't mind me saying so. But a CD surrounded by foam rubber, wrapped in cardboard,
yeah,
bundled up in bubble wrap, and then put in a jiffy bag.
Well, listen, you don't want to damage something that's priceless.
This would have withstood a direct hit.
Hey, it didn't happen to have a photograph on the front of you, did it?
It's got.
With a moustache! Yeah! I know the CD you're talking about.
It's called Gary Burt.
Yeah?
Taking the... I think we discussed this, didn't we, the other Monday night? Mickey Bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on the back of this CD is a rather attractive picture of my good self.
Without the moustache?
No moustache.
That's right, yeah. Well, I put one on you to see what you'd look like with a moustache, right? To see if it'd suit you, see?
Anyway,
so now we know that it does, you can grow a real one.
Listen.
And it'll suit you might go down a little bit better when you go for your cup of tea in the cafe.
This CD, it's got, what have you had to do with this?
What do you mean?
Because with it is a card which I remember writing out and giving to a bloke in Dronfield.
Yeah.
Which is somehow, it says, I owe James H. Reeve many hundreds of pounds in respect of nicked gags.
That's right.
Signed, Gary Burt.
Yeah, well, you obviously figure that I owe you a percentage of all the gags I've stolen from you over the years. As they've accumulated, you see. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I get this IOU, yeah, passed on to me through a mate of mine who drives for a comedian.
Yeah.
Who happens to associate himself with you on the odd occasion, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, how unfortunate can he get?
Well, I don't even know, but it says inside the sleeve of this, it says, all music and lyrics composed and written by Gary Burt.
Yeah.
All gags stolen, most of them from James H. Reeve.
That's right.
So is this your work here? The whole thing? You've got a computer, you've got a program for making, you've got a CD stomper software.
Yeah.
You've got all the lot.
Yeah.
And the tracks include the James H. Reeve theme, I Can Always Count on Reeve, I stole all the gags, and a country boy called Hengist.
Yeah, to name but a few. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much indeed.
All I need now
Yeah.
is a spell checker.
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do is... That sounds like the name of some mad American congressman, doesn't it? Congressman Spellchecker. I'm going to... Actually, I've been on eBay, and I'm auctioning the Jiffy bag.
You what?
I'm auctioning the Jiffy bag.
Why?
Let's see if I get something for it.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so what, did you want to probe any of the major philosophical issues of our time, or is that open for too much?
No, I'm actually ringing up about the American government manufacturing mind-altering chemicals and spreading them across the nation.
Is this the spraying stuff idea again?
Yeah.
This bloke in Cheshire keeps going on about this. He's done it again. Listen, Phil, what's his name? He sent it me again. Right, here we are. Phil Morris. When did you come across this?
What?
What? The Americans spraying us with mind-altering chemicals, of course, you buffoon.
Where did I come across it?
Yeah.
It's in a book I've got called The Biggest Secret by David Icke.
Oh, now then.
Yeah. But do you know what gets me? This is a bit that confuses me, right? If the American government are manufacturing mind-controlling chemicals, right? Yeah. Now, obviously, the American government are not manufacturing them, are they? I mean, Rumsfeld and Bush can't go into a chemistry lab and put that together. They would have to have chemists do that for them.
Well, of course they would.
So that would mean employing, well, several hundred chemists to actually develop enough to distribute.
Yes.
Then there'd be like thousands involved in the actual mass production of it. And then there'd be so many more thousand people involved in actually distributing it out. Now, how would you keep that many mouths shut?
Well, you see...
If your plan is to poison a nation which will contain people who are actually related to those thousands that are doing it.
This is the answer, believe it or not, in the midst of your idiocy.
Yeah.
You do actually touch on... I mean, there are so many things where you are, of course, completely wrong and bordering on the insane. But...
Such as what?
Well, I mean, I don't want to bring up the aluminium tea bags again, but...
Now, that is a true fact.
No, never mind that. Right. The point is this. What you've just done now is explained the reason why all conspiracy theories are rubbish. It's just not possible. It is not possible. I've said this so many times that I say this with mixed feelings because it's in danger. There is a slight chance that we would stifle all discussion about who shot John F. Kennedy, what really happened on September the 11th, what really happened to Lady Di, da-di-da-di-da, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there are some people who... Well, these things never die, so there will always be someone who will either insist or someone new will come along and read some rubbish, and so these things are constantly perpetuated.
But
right.
You'll never stop it because there's too many people making too much money.
Particularly now, of course. At one time, people might have been driven by public spiritedness or patriotism, but these days it's more likely to be out of money or getting your own TV series. So the number of people involved is, as you say, is so great that no, it cannot be done. It cannot be done. And I've said this many times, Gary, and I'll say it again. The way to get away with kidding people, with taking them to the cleaners, is to do it before their very eyes.
Well...
Oh, go on. Go on.
There is a lot of anomalies, right, that don't fit.
What? In what?
Well, I mean, what we've just said there about it's been possible for the government to conspire to mind control people, it would be impossible. But that doesn't mean that there is no truth in any conspiracies.
No, but there isn't, you see, there isn't.
Well, you don't know that.
Look, the ones where...
I mean, let's face it, right? Whatever your views on David Icke, he's got a hell of a lot of brilliant coincidences in his work.
Yes, of course, so has...
And he couldn't be making it up.
So has Charles Berlitz. Charles Berlitz has written umpteen books crammed with coincidences, which he passes off as some sort of pattern and tries to establish some dubious links between them, whereas in actual fact there aren't any.
Well, they can
people
often
buy it.
They can often lead to to a conclusion that's not true. I'll grant you that.
Yeah, but he does that, and people buy them and go, oh, have you read this book called The Philadelphia Experiment?
Yeah.
Well, all right, what's that about? It's not the Philadelphia story, that's a different thing.
Right. The Philadelphia Experiment?
Yeah.
Well, no, I've heard of it.
Well, what's it about, then?
I ain't got a clue.
Right!
But I have heard of the book.
Supposedly... they were experimenting. I didn't think Sunday night would turn out to be invisibility night, but it seems to be heading that way. But Charles Berlitz, after such triumphs as the Bermuda Triangle, wrote a book called The Philadelphia Experiment. And it's the story of how the Americans were experimenting with invisibility machines during the war.
Yeah.
And... the USS Philadelphia was made to disappear, to become invisible. You knew it was still there, because one of these things, the problem with invisibility... Have you ever read the original H.G. Wells' The Invisible Man?
No.
No, right.
No.
Well, of course, he points out a number of things which are conveniently overlooked in all the film and TV things that have been done, is that he's invisible, but a number of things aren't. For example, the food that he eats isn't invisible.
Right, yeah.
So, if he has anything to eat...
you can see it.
You can see a lot of chewed bread.
There's a film on this.
Hanging about in mid-air.
There was a film about this not long ago.
And as it works its way through his digestive system, assuming everything's in order... you can see the shape of a large intestine.
Hey, you should get yourself a dose of that. You'll be able to find out what's causing your little stool.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
You see, you'd be able, but you wouldn't be able to. If you're invisible, you wouldn't be able to see you clenching. Anyway, listen. But you know he's still there. No, you know the ship's still there because you could see the shape of the hull in the water. You're following this?
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone on board went mad. Obviously. Because the ship went invisible. Now, if you were on a ship and it became invisible, you wouldn't go mad. You'd go, hey, that's good. The ship's invisible, aren't they clever? Right? Right. Anyway. We know for a fact that one person went mad because he was the bloke who told this story to Charles Berlitz. He was completely mad, and Charles Berlitz wrote it all down.
Yes, but...
the conversation took place
you're not talking...
on a park bench in New York.
Yeah, but listen, you're not talking about the kind of facts that I'm referring to.
What? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, it does?
It doesn't.
Oh, but it does.
Why?
What? Right, well, I'll tell you why. This is something that you will probably know already, but if you don't, you can check it, right? There is a god known as Moloch. Yeah?
More than one, yeah.
It's an ancient god.
Right, well, there isn't a god, but some people believe there is, yeah.
No, but there is an ancient belief in a god called Moloch, right?
Yeah.
And it's one where children were sacrificed to it.
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you know about this?
Yes.
And what's the symbol for the god of Moloch?
It's an eye, isn't it?
No, it's an owl.
An owl?
An owl. Yeah.
So?
Well, have you seen the street plan of Washington, D.C.?
Now, let me see. No.
Right, well, I've got it in front of me.
Now?
Now.
Why?
Because I'm quoting you a fact.
You're in Doncaster. Why have you got a street plan of Washington, D.C. out in front of you?
It's on page 364 in The Biggest Secret. That's how far through I am.
Oh, dear. Hurry up. There's a bloke wants to talk about the Da Vinci Code in a minute.
Oh, listen. Right, well, what I'm saying is the symbol is there to be seen. You can check it. So why have the Congress put an esoteric symbol of the god of Moloch in the street plan of Washington, D.C., if there's no Illuminati?
Because, Sunshine, they haven't. But if someone tells you that you can see an owl, eventually you'll see one.
Eh? Nonsense! I'm perfectly aware of autosuggestion. This is beyond anybody's doubt. It's an owl on top of a pyramid.
Oh, I see. So just let me... So let me see now. I want to run the world. I want to control the world.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is... I will leave clues.
No, they haven't left
everywhere.
clues. They haven't left clues. It's their symbolism.
Right, so...
They never thought that any of it would get leaked out.
Right, so I will put my symbol all over the show.
Yeah.
But in such a way that nobody can really see it. So I'll hide it in the street plan of towns.
No,
Now, what about this one? Why not get millions of people to have torchlight parades and put their symbol on armbands and give them all one?
Yeah, but you won't do that. Because you don't think like they do.
No, well, I don't think like you do, which is one of the very few things in life that I'm grateful for. That doesn't include being sat here at 11:30 at night. Right. Later, I don't know really, perhaps to try and do something about him. Beatty's March. Later, if I have more success with the CD machine than on our previous attempt, which I have to say was not an unqualified triumph, I will play a track from the Gary Burt album, which is available in all bad record shops. There are also pieces called Uri Geller, David Icke, Fat Kevin, and Theme for a Skeptic. Anyway, I'm sure it's dreadful, and I got fed up with talking to him. Thank you. We're going to find out the latest on... oh, yes. We've got some more news on Dorothy, yeah. Oh, isn't it odd? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Comparative peace and enjoyment, and in an hour and a half it's all gone. Does that mean... Is it like one of these... like a hedge trimmer, that you have to leave it on charge for 9 hours, and you get 15 minutes hedge cutting out of it? That must be the principle it works on. There's no hope. I might have to have... I'll do this week, then I might have to have 3 months off before I can do another week. We're going to talk to Oldham in a second. Oh, that's better. James, you're my ray of light, the moonlight of the stars and the cream in my cake. You have brightened up my eclipse and shone through my soul, says Pep. Right. And then there's a rather less than complimentary remark about Gary Burt. He's a Tango Whiskey Alpha Tango. I can't possibly condone that. Stand by. Oldham's coming up next. Oh, incidentally, 0161 288 0103 288 0103. The theme seems to have, once again, we have conspiracies, which is, it's like shooting tin ducks, really, but I'm more than happy to disabuse you. The feasibility or otherwise of being invisible. And also, I hate to draw this to your attention, but apparently at the moment, 2 lads have been shot in Ardwick. A man's been stabbed to death in Rochdale. We've had a knife amnesty. We have 60 people? An average of 60 people a day being killed in Iraq, and so on and so forth. But I'm sure there's little I can do to move these up your personal agenda. If, however, you feel that this might help the world to move on with just a faltering step towards a new future, the sunlit uplands of the New Jerusalem, then 0161 288 0103.
Key 103.
This is the Stories self-titled album. Wonderful songs and instinctively beautiful harmonies. An incredibly accomplished debut album. Includes the singles Be By Your Side and Cinnamon. A band with live performances not to be missed. Catch the Stories on the road with Elton John this summer. The Stories album is a perfectly polished gem. It's out now.
Hello?
Phil, hi, it's Mike from work. I just need you to go over your accident one more time for the record.
Again?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was standing on a crate fixing a junction box. Crate collapsed, I fell, hurt my back.
And how far did you fall again?
Oh, about a foot.
Sorry, how many feet?
1. I'm on loudspeaker, aren't I?
Yes, you are!
Pain's not all you feel when you fall from a low height. Every month, over 170 people discover that even a low height can be a high risk. For useful safety information, visit hse.gov.uk/falls. Take a moment, not a fall.
Beep, 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 beep. Introducing BE from Budweiser. A new drink with a mix of caffeine, ginseng and guarana, with 5% ABV and a crisp fruit taste. Grab a BE. Now let's mix it up. The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I don't really want to go into... I had sex with your auntie last night, says Phil in Bolton. Did you? Right. Welcome back. About these mind-altering chemicals in the air. It's true, the Yanks sprayed Huddersfield today at 3 o'clock. At least I think so, because I can't think of any other reason Salford played like they did against Huddersfield in the Challenge Cup. Yeah, and I was very, very disappointed in that myself, yeah. There's also, on the matter of... this material, apparently, you're invisible. Why don't you come on the bloody phone and explain this instead of doing it this way? It's crap, I'm fed up with this. The fabric makes you invisible to infrared, thermal, and night vision cameras. Right, okay. However, a little later, it's pointed out to me that, yeah, you are invisible to all those other things, but people can see you. That is the problem. Right, so really, Freckleton is near Preston, thank you, and you can see the fabric, but the cameras can't. Okay, well, if you're appearing live, right. And also, who's this from? I thought you said you were going to Skegness. No wonder, I couldn't find you there. That bloody rifle cost me 50 quid a day to rent for the whole fortnight. Thank you very much indeed. Dorothy in Oldham. Dorothy?
Oh, bloody hell, James, I'm sorry.
What? Don't come in here Lord Maring like that.
Look, if I make an awful noise down the phone, I've had an antibiotic stuck in my epiglottis for 15 minutes. I've had to stuff it down with brown bread.
Oh, dear.
And water, so if I make one of those noises, you know, oh, God, it's been awful. Anyway.
It's just most things bread, though, doesn't it?
Well, it's a special bread, this. It's got cranberry in it.
Has it really?
122, yeah, cranberry.
Oh, now listen.
Hey, he's only bought it first time today. We're both poorly, we're on bloody antibiotics and all sorts of stuff. And he got this bread today, and it's beautiful. So I've had to stuff it down. I said, don't let me get on the air with this tablet stuck between my epiglottis and my tonsils. So I've had to stuff this bread down me, but it's really delicious, but I haven't had made some noises shoving the water down as well. And I thought, God, if he comes to me now, that's it. There'll be a big burp coming down the line and he'll just cut me off.
A big Wyatt?
Anyway, it's happened twice, so if another one comes, it will be an accident. I will move my face away.
Listen, I've got to tell you a story.
Cranberries?
No, nothing to do with cranberries. No need to take that attitude.
Oh, all right.
Listen, this is, I read this in the paper at the weekend. We got the papers late on holiday. 2-day-old paper it was.
Yeah, you would do where you went to, wouldn't you?
Yeah, in, hang on, I've written it down here somewhere. Yeah, in, Hitchbiria. Or Dospedimu, the Greeks call it Dospedimu. Anyway, yeah, this fella, he goes into, you not hear this? It would suit you, this, because you're a massive drain on the health service, aren't you?
Oh, terrible, both of us are, yeah. Oxygen, everything, oh, we've got the lot nebulizers, oh, yeah, terrible we are. Should be dead, really. We would do the country a service if we were both died tonight.
It would be very considerate of you, Dorothy.
It probably would for you as well, yeah. I'm really sorry, James, I'm such an inconvenience, but go on.
But listen, so this fella goes to, he goes into hospital, he's got terrible pain in his chest, he's coughing up blood and all this sort of thing, right?
I hope my husband's not listening to this. He's just been classified as having bloody asbestosis and heart trouble last Thursday.
Oh, really?
And they've given up on him, so be careful what you're wording. He's listening upstairs.
Well, no, this will bring a ray of light. This will bring a little right. Anyway, so they go out and they X-ray him and all the rest of it and say, oh, this is it's looking bad here. Oh, this is phew. I tell you what, if you buy a suit, don't buy one with 2 pairs of trousers. All this.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they had a delve, and do you know this?
Well, he's cutting his wrists in the bathroom now.
No, well, tell him. Look, tell him not to prejudge things.
They've already they've got rid of him, 2 doctors, and they're sending him to a specialist for asbestosis down Manchester.
Hell, look, this isn't BBC local radio.
Well, you did mention that we were a drain on the health service.
It's not come in here and tell us about how ill you are.
Well, we've had to listen to your barrels, haven't we?
Only in a manner of speaking. You've not had to actually listen. I've not lowered a microphone down there.
Not yet.
Right.
There's always time.
I did lower a canary down there in a cage, but it never saw it again.
Go on, don't have you laughing.
Anyway, listen, for heaven's sake. So they said, well, the only thing we can do, we'll have to open you up, mate. So
you can't have that either.
I'm not. Will you let me?
Can't have heart surgery.
This fella's not having heart surgery.
Oh, go on.
Right. So, God blimey, this is meant to be a light-hearted anecdote. You've killed it stone dead.
I'm going to kill me husband upstairs. We really go
Listen,
on.
when I go on tour, when I go round the country with me one-man show.
Oh, what about me?
Hey, what about her?
Right, 2-man show then.
Go on.
Yeah, he was a Chinese magician, wasn't he?
2-man show, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
With one leg.
Yeah. Promise me you won't come and sit in the front row, Dorothy. Now listen.
I don't travel much, but I'd love to do that just to bloody aggravate you.
Well, look, you can do it from the comfort of your own armchair or commode. Listen to me. Let me finish telling you this story.
I forgot. Oh, let's not forget them, yeah.
God blimey. Anyway, listen, for heaven's sake.
Let me tell her Lady Supply.
Oh,
go on.
Awful with her. So they operated on this bloke, and they looked at this suspicious thing in his lung, and do you know what it was?
A piece of that bread.
No. It was a cashew nut.
Oh, yes, I've heard about these things. I've heard about bristles off toothbrushes and all.
Have you?
Yep, in your lungs.
Anyway, I'll just go back to the story I was telling you. So they said, we found the problem. It was a cashew nut in your lung. He said, when did you last have a cashew nut? He said, let me see now. It would have been Christmas 2004. So he had a cashew nut in his lung for 18 months.
That could be a true story.
It is a true story!
Well, I'm telling you that.
Oh, no, it could be a conspiracy, couldn't it?
Listen, when I was an occupational therapist nurse, when I was working in the health environment of occupational work, yes, which I did, I did actually remove with the syringing some cotton wool from a lad's ear who couldn't hear, and my husband said to him, why, because he worked at the same place as Platts, and he said, why don't you go around and see Dorothy? He said, because she'll syringe your ears for you. And he'd had a piece of pink cotton wool I got out with the syringing method, and he'd had it in at least 18 months.
Well.
So it sounds like the cashew nut job there.
Yeah. So how much cotton wool do you have to put in your ear to block out your hearing?
It was just one little piece he'd poked down with a matchstick. I wouldn't advise anybody to be poking cotton wool in their ear holes.
To clean it?
Eh?
Was he trying to clean his ear?
Yeah, 18 months prior, and when I washed his ear out with the solutions that we use after I'd sort of softened it up for, with, you know, a day or 2 or 3, we did this all the time, you know, in proper, it was a proper occupational nursing place we worked at, you know, at Platts. And he said, good grief. He said, it's about 18 months since having the pink cotton wool in our house, and it came out with the washing with the solution, you know, that you put down. It's like an icing syringe that you use, you know, but like a different like metal, you know. Yeah, 18 months it had been down his ear.
You did one then, didn't you?
I've done a lot of things.
No, I heard you do
I'm not gonna no, I did.
I had
a very quiet one, not like the noisy ones before. Listen, I've been doing a bit of undercover as well as Gary. So, Gary, and I have it on good authority. I've had them followed, these two, and one went via the airport and one went via not public transport, by road, and they went with different people in different destinations, so that's scotched that lot. They're not at it.
Are you talking about me getting the Metrolink?
You and her are not at it, you and Jackie.
Well, I travel everywhere by Metrolink.
No, you went to the airport, you.
In fact, sometimes the driver goes out of his way.
So this time you went to the airport. I have information to collaborate that you went to the airport and Jackie went elsewhere in 2 different countries.
Can you corrugate that remark?
Corrugate?
Yeah.
Corrugate what?
Oh, no, it doesn't matter.
What other unusual objects have you pulled out of people, Dorothy?
Sorry? Objects?
Yeah.
Well, I had a fella, and if he's listening now, he's called Huey Boswell, and he's a gypsy, and honest to God, I sweat, and so did he. One lunchtime, he came down from the, he worked with wood and things, you know, and this splinter, I really thought it was a small one, and he came down during lunchtime, and I got these tweezers, and I got the tiny little needle, sterile needle, you know, just to make a tiny little cut without making it bleed and then, because we were very professional, you know, very clever. We didn't like giving them over to A&E, we could do it ourselves. And I got hold of this splinter, and I'm not joking, it was 4 inches long. My God, if I'd have known it was so long, I wouldn't have touched it. But as it was...
It's not the first time you've said that, is it?
No, it honestly pulled. It must have passed all his sinews. It must have passed by everything, even his subcutaneous blood supply underneath, you know.
Where was it?
No blood came. It was right down through his thumb, and I thought it was only a little one. And it was about 4 inches long, and he's called Huey Boswell. And he is a gypsy king, and he lives, and if he wants to ring in, he can confirm this. He lives in the Hollywood, Chariton area. And I pulled it out, I swear, he swear, and I thought, my God, if I'd have known it was so long, it was a beautiful, clean piece of wood, but we wrapped it up and given tetanus and everything.
Why do people love going to such detail when they talk about
because it's surgery, James! It's like microsurgery!
I thought it'd be something more unusual than a splinter.
A geezer working on the railway all the live long day.
Something blew up.
Well, was it? No, he wasn't a French Canadian. French Canadian was the bloke who shot himself in the stomach with his shotgun.
Was he?
And his stomach healed up.
Where's that one who was after you, were he?
I'm sorry, I thought I was speaking then.
Go on.
His stomach healed up. The outer lining.
Oh, you're talking about, it's called, oh shit. Well, sorry.
Oh, yeah, well, it's sometimes called
during the war with shrapnel, it's called cauterization.
Dorothy, would it be alright with you if I just continue with this completely unrelated...
Cauterization.
This completely unrelated story
I'm sorry, I just happen to be medically equipped to know these things.
Well, instead of the outer lining of his stomach healing...
Yeah.
And the inner lining healing... The outer healed up with the inner. So he had a permanent porthole into his stomach. And thanks to him, a lot of people now benefit from the research that I mean, they didn't know until then that your stomach produces hydrochloric acid. And whenever they wanted to find something out about the digestion, they just...
Oh, you're having a go now.
This is true.
I'll tell you all about your hydrochloric acid.
This is true. This is true. And all they did was they just had looked through this hole and you could see into this bloke's stomach.
No.
He was a French Canadian. But the other thing is, listen, this fella, and I can't remember where he was from now, there was an explosion on the railway, and like these big iron bars that they used to lever the rails into position took off like a rocket and went right through his head, in through his jaw and out through the top of his head at the other side. 6 foot of solid steel. And he looked round, he said, and like you do, everybody said, are you alright?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah.
Like you just had a bolt through your neck, yeah.
And it removed about 3/4 of his brain, and he was no different. It's an absolutely true story.
I can believe it.
This 6 foot of solid steel.
It bypasses, it's like all these blokes during the war.
It learns another way round, doesn't it? Yeah.
Loads of blokes have got shrapnel wounds. I had a half-brother who was in the last World War, and he too had shrapnel wounds. And I used to nurse people who had shrapnel wounds from the First World War, I'm talking about in the 60s and 70s, that it moved. You know, it's been there for
in mysterious
ways. And it just cauterized itself, but then, as years came on...
No, you're mixing up about 4 or 5 different things here. I'm telling you, this bloke had a steel rod, 6 foot long, right through his head.
Yeah, I know.
Took a piece out of his head the size of a saucer, left a hole right through his brain you could put your arm in.
Yeah.
And he suffered no ill effects whatsoever. Oh, I tell a lie, he bought a season ticket for United. But other than that, he was completely normal.
Does he live in Doncaster now?
He might do.
They're just freaks of nature, James. It just happens. It's like that, you know. I mean, how many people would throw, you know, a match down when they've just been on the toilet and
not having this.
Blow up in the air, you know, with methane gas. I mean, another person could do exactly the same and just nothing happens, you know.
Luckily, that would kill the wild alligator living in the sewers that was just coming up to bite you. So, you know, these things even themselves out. Look, everybody wants to know. They want a reminder. This show was brought to you by Huey Boswell, the Gypsy King.
No, that's regarding the Splinter.
All right. Anyway, listen. Who is it that you want... Because people have forgotten now. Who is it that you want to know?
He's a proper Gypsy King, by the way.
No, not him. The bloke with the leg and the thin lips, or whatever it was.
Well, we think, John and I, we think it was probably Richard Todd who came back home from the war wounded with a leg missing.
Richard Todd?
We think it was Richard Todd. It was definitely Vanessa Redgrave, as somebody already said. We knew that anyway. But she had a daughter. But she was having it off with this...
Pardon?
Well, not originally. She was just tea making, and then he got into bed making later. Is that a better way of putting it?
All right, whatever. I was rather taken aback by your terminology.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm terrible sorry for the shock, you know, of the grammar. And then, but I don't know, but he is a well-known actor. I don't know the name of the film, but I'm almost certain it was made in the late 60s to mid-70s. You know, she was about 32 at the time. She's 71 now, Vanessa Redgrave.
Yes.
I'd say that she was about 32 when she made this film.
Yes.
And it was in colour.
Okay, but the
And
point
she was
is...
a lady what brewed tea and biscuits and cakes for the upper crust of the Americans, and they used to come to this big house what she had, and I don't know why. She must have lived near a barracks or an airport or something, but her husband, I think, was in the army. I'm not sure, but he went away, and then she didn't think he'd come back, and then she had a young daughter. She's about 7-year-old, this girl, very posh, awfully posh, went to private school and everything, but then she started having an affair with this fellow with the teeth. It's only because he's got too many teeth in his mouth. He seems to have a lot of teeth but thin lips. I personally don't find him an attractive man. Some women might. I don't know who he is. I know he is a pretty well-known actor, but not as well-known as Richard Todd and Vanessa Redgrave, but he has played in a lot of war films.
Right. He's got a lot of teeth.
He's got more teeth than he should have in his mouth. He's got a couple what I should have in my mouth now, what I'm missing. Yeah.
Listen. I've got to tell you this.
What?
You've just changed. I've got to tell you something now. I was at the lights. Not Blackpool, they're not switched on
Traffic
yet.
lights.
Yeah, I was at the traffic lights. And somewhere in East Manchester, that's all I'll say. And I see this woman crossing the road. Now, as you know, sometimes it's difficult for me to come to terms with the failings, the inadequacies of the rest of the human race.
Yeah, I appreciate that, James.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of your little failings in life, not liking people very much, isn't it?
Yes.
You can't help it. It's the way you were born. Go on.
So there's she's pushing a pushchair.
Yeah.
And obviously, I couldn't see what was in the pushchair, but I
probably a child.
Well, whatever it is, there's probably not much hope for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, in the long
Oh, my God.
No, not in the scheme of things.
Oh,
And
dear,
there
it
she
sounds
is.
like me and my husband.
Anyway, she's...
You know, I've married yourself tonight,
Will you be
can't
quiet?
you? No, I'm not eating bread.
So she's got... Obviously, she's got an arse like a bus seat. Right?
Oh.
But thinks that you can get round this by putting on a pair of tracksuit bottoms.
Yeah, you could, I suppose. Or a sack.
Yeah, anything with sport written on it. If you're a big, fat, lazy git, buy some sporting apparel. Anyway, she's done that, and she's got her hair scrawled back, and, I mean, just, like, appalling. Anyway, she turns to look whether the traffic's coming, and she's got one tooth.
One tooth?
One tooth.
Oh, my.
But right in the middle.
Well, I've got one missing, you see, and I can't find my false one.
Not interested. Listen. Well, maybe she's got it. No, she'd got this. You know, like Bugs Bunny? But imagine, instead of his 2 teeth, imagine they were all one. And that's what she got. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Oh, she'll be sucking eggs, won't she?
It must have been, I'm not exaggerating now, this one tooth, it must have been, you know, about the size of a stamp. Honestly.
I mean, it has fused itself with 2 others or something.
I don't know what was going on. It was just like one huge tooth right in the middle of her mouth.
How the heck could you see all this sat in a car?
Because I've got a mind, I've got a pornographic memory. I didn't mean to say that.
Pornographic?
Yeah.
Photographic?
Oh, that might be it. Hey, don't tell me, can you corroborate that? Listen, I'm fed up with you. I'm fed up with everything. I'm fed up with being here. But I've got a... I don't know, do I want to do it? No, not really. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm sitting here looking at a picture of Gary Burt, listening to her, thinking about all the... Don't know how the Poseidon Adventure finished. Oh, well. Oh, I'll talk to Tom in Ashton. I don't know what he wants to talk about. Right. John in Salford. Oh, yeah. Where Eagles Dare was on. I watched it while you were away. The Germans managed to build a V1 flying bomb and the V2 rocket. They came within a whisker of getting the atom bomb first. Are you telling us that they couldn't have built one little helicopter? By the way, Ingrid Pitt was nice. No, I'm sorry, John in Salford. You're wrong, pal. You're wrong. You're wrong on this one. I am the General Sir Brian Horrocks of Key 103. Oh, Benny Fitz. Oh, Benny Fitz, that's good. Benny Fitz in Wythenshawe says, tell that Dorothy, I've left out the adjective there. It might be a gerund. Tell that Dorothy the nurse is coming round to put her in bed and give her the medication. Aye, thank you, says Benny. Right, I have to have a breather and gather my scattered wits. Oh, but I've got something else to tell you as well. I've been culling all these observations, you see. Well, you think I've been swanning around, loading it up in Das Speedimoo. But no, I've been constantly working, researching all the time, learning. And you're going to get the benefit of it in a minute. And so's Tom in Ashton. 0161 288 0103, by the way. 0161 288 0103. This is where we do it. And this is what we do next.
A sun-drenched beach, on a sun-drenched island, in a sun-drenched ocean. You're lying on the sand, listening to the sea and taking in the rays. There's an old man sitting next to you peeling a pineapple. In a minute, he'll charge you for that and then try and sell you a necklace made out of seaweed. But you don't care, because you listened out for the 3 songs in a row. The £25,000 triple play. It'll make you rich enough to tolerate old men selling seaweed.
Manchester's #1 hit music station, Key 103.
Beep, 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 beep. Introducing BE from Budweiser. A new drink with a mix of caffeine, ginseng and guarana, with 5% ABV and a crisp fruit taste. Grab a BE. Now let's mix it up.
Brad and Janet came from Denton High, and that evening they met someone who would take them even higher. Of all the sin joints in all the world, they had to walk into his. Frankfurter, he's back, and this time it's no more Sister Nice Guy. The Rocky Horror Show, alive on stage. Don't dream it, see it. For one wondrous week only, from the 12th of June at the Opera House, Manchester. Book now on 0870 401 9000.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Thank you. Hugh Jerslong. Hugh, no, that doesn't really work. Is Mad Dorothy's actor Audie Murphy, who I believe was the most decorated soldier in World War II. Oh, he was beautiful finish. No, I don't think so. He played himself. He played himself becoming the most decorated soldier in World War II. It doesn't matter really. And Rendonga in Stockey says, James, I've seen that lady with one tooth. She's called Juanita. Ha ha! No, she's not. Thanks. She's also an expert on central heating. Tom in Ashton.
Yep.
Ashton Underline.
That's right, yeah.
I always like to distinguish between that and Ashton upon Mersey, you see.
And that's quite correct. You're quite correct to do that, yeah.
Yes.
We're much better quality people around here.
Well, let's not go into that.
No. Well, we're not, we're just on. Yeah, it's about the knife carrying thing.
Yes.
Okay, which you opened the show up with. I carry a pocket knife in my pocket, which I have done for many years, since being a boy.
Yeah, but I mean, when you say a pocket knife, what do you mean by a pocket knife?
It's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I've always carried it in the hope that I could come across a distressed horse and use this little tool to get a stone out of its hoof.
Get a Boy Scout out of its hoof.
It's a Boy Scout knife, yeah.
Or perhaps some...
But I've never met a distressed horse. Now, if I give that to the cops, I'll bet you I'll meet a lame horse the day after. You know what I mean?
I know that's... Well, you see, I keep telling it. I say never throw anything out.
Oh, no, you don't.
No. Or you could. You might meet someone... You might be walking along and you might come to a park bench, say, or as they're known these days, a Scottish theme pub. And you might find a poor inebriate there who not only...
No, that would probably be me, yeah.
Well, you might
I
sit
can't
down.
meet myself, can I? We're going into...
But he might have a bottle of the finest Chardonnay that he can't open.
Right.
In which case, to save him smashing the neck off it,
Yeah.
you can produce the corkscrew element of your Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
And then, while he's sat down, he might mention that he's not cut his toenails for 18 months.
I can
Yeah, there we are, you see.
That's what the point I was making was, I was trying to ask, which I haven't been able to discover, was what length of blade and what you're calling a knife. I've got a pocket knife that I walk about with.
Well, I'm sure...
And it's got a 2.5 inch blade. And I've always walked about with it, and you know what I mean?
Yes, of course I know what you mean. I know
So,
what's about
so
with
what,
things,
what
yeah.
are we talking about? We're talking about, you know, the killing birds in America type knives, or a little pocket knife.
Well, I think we would assume that if something has clearly been manufactured as a pen knife or a utility knife or something like that, although obviously, as unfortunately was demonstrated on September the 11th, 2001, that a pen knife or a Stanley knife or whatever can
exactly.
can be used in those circumstances.
Understand? Yeah.
But normally, well, let's put it this way.
It depends on your usage of it. I mean, I don't really need to carry about with me, but it's just been...
you never know. You might need to...
No, it's just been a tradition.
You might need to sharpen your...
I've always had it in my pocket.
Right, I've got another one who just keeps on talking relentlessly.
Right, go on then.
Right. You might need, for example, you might have to sharpen your quill pen.
Yes.
Because they do from time to time.
Shakespeare and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I think, as far as I understand it, the law is as follows. I think a knife is deemed to be an offensive weapon.
Yeah.
Unless there are exceptional circumstances. But I think a 4-inch blade, I think it's a 4-inch blade. Anything over 4 inches is automatically infra-dig.
Right.
I'm sure someone will be only too happy to correct me. That on the other hand, let's put it this way. I mean, somebody said to me that if you stop by the police and you've got a baseball bat in the back of your car. Now, you see, in my world, it would be a cricket bat, but, you know.
Yeah, well,
you've got a baseball...
in my world as well, yeah.
He says you can be done for possessing an offensive weapon.
Yes, I've been told.
But, he said, and this is one of these... I love it the way people say this with such authority. He says, but if you've got a baseball mitt, a catcher's mitt in there as well, they can't do you.
No,
well, the thing is
weird,
this, I mean, do you think they haven't thought of that? Right. They cannot, it is not automatic that they can't do you. If they can prove that you're carrying this baseball bat for offensive purposes and are carrying the baseball mitt in order to avoid being prosecuted for carrying an offensive weapon, then they can do you anyway. Now, let's look at it this way. Alright, if a knife blade is less than 4 inches long, then presumably it is not automatically an offensive weapon. But if you are found, shall we say, let's look at it this way. Let's suppose they stop a bloke who's walking home wearing a donkey jacket and jeans with all plaster up them, and he's got a butty bag over his shoulder, and in his pocket he's got a Stanley knife.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Okay.
Well, there could be thousands an hour.
Well, exactly.
Couldn't there?
Exactly.
You know, nobody could say, well, okay, it was decorated,
right.
it was doing
well, quite
this,
right, yeah, it might have been stripping a bit of wire.
It could be doing anything,
okay,
you know.
right.
My personal trade as an electrician, I use my knife professionally.
Well, of course you do.
And it's a thing that I just poke in my pocket.
Yes, yes. All right. Let's move on now. Yes. So,
Okay.
but you're right. So let us now suppose that they stop a man of a similar age at 2 o'clock in the morning, walking down Stamford Street.
Yeah.
Who is well dressed, wearing a T-shirt and fashionable shoes. And is freshly washed and shaved and is smelling delightful. And yet in his pocket he has a Stanley knife.
Yeah.
Now then.
Well, I really don't know the answer to that, Jay.
Well, this isn't not exactly Judge John Deed, this, is it? Now, clearly...
If I can have a little word, I mean...
If you can have a little word, you've just been chattering on. So I think is there somebody else in the room with you? Cause
no.
Clearly, there are circumstances which will render the carrying of a Stanley knife by a man in tradesman's clothing.
Do you really think the law's that accurate, Jeff?
Well, no. The law is there to be
circumstances. Judges.
I'm sorry, did you just ask me a question, Tom?
I will do.
Yeah, no, did you do?
No.
You didn't?
No.
I thought you just asked me a question about the law being exact.
Go on then, tell me how exact it is.
Did you ask me that?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Oh, I must be bloody imagining
things then.
Well, I will ask you it. I must be hearing voices.
Well, tell me how
exact Dorothy from you.
The law cannot be precise and exact.
No, the idea of laws... The idea of laws... Shut up, for Christ's sake!
Okay.
Thank you.
Switch me off if you don't like me.
Righto, fair enough, thank you. Tom, that saved me, that saved me having to think of a way around that one, because there wasn't any other. It's just like some sort of droning, like some sort of model aircraft in the distance. No. Oh, dear. Thanks. Bundy? Swiss Army knives are legal because they don't flick open and they are classed as a tool. Okay. They are not automatically an offensive weapon, but they could still be deemed an offensive weapon if the circumstances... Yeah, I know there's knives that open automatically over a certain length, but if you want, you could make... a Stanley knife is not a bad example. In one set of circumstances, it might be perfectly legitimate for you to be carrying it. In another set, not. And there is, I won't go into detail, but there is a rather unpleasant adaptation which could be made to a Stanley knife, which would automatically make it an offensive weapon, whether you were dressed as a plasterer or not. So there. I just wish someone would come on and be informative, or... Anyway, it doesn't matter, really. Is Tony from Blakely any better, or is he balmy as well?
Yeah, it's fine.
Don't do that. Don't put on that nonchalant tone of voice and pull faces and make that gesture while you're talking about a valued customer.
I said yes, he's fine. That's all I said.
Yeah, but there was no need for that. No need to do that.
No, I didn't.
And I've never seen anyone roll their eyes that far back in their head.
Doing that.
Apart from Ben Turpin. Right, Tony in Blakely, we're going to speak to you next. Oh, by the way, 0161 288 0103. It's nice to be back, isn't it? 0161 288 0103. That puts you right here in this fast-moving, hard-hitting, topical debate programme.
Go on.
Key 103.
He'd come in my room and touch me. He said it was normal and kept buying me presents. I was confused, because I thought it must happen to everyone. It went on for ages until I told someone. I felt better just being able to talk about it. If it's happened to you, when you're ready, visit the NSPCC website, don'thideit.com, or call Childline on 0800 1111. Remember, if you've been sexually abused, you don't have to hide it anymore.
Agent Jenkins here. I have infiltrated a school football match, disguised as a goalpost. Mission, tell pupils that with EMA, they could earn up to £500 in bonuses if they continue in learning after 16. We'll now make contact with the goalkeeper.
If you... off the post. I'm hit. Man down. Medic.
To apply now, visit direct.gov.uk/EMA. EMA. Be in the know. Households with annual income up to £30,000 eligible.
Hi, a copy of The Guardian, please.
Sure. Hey, you're Sven Goran Eriksson.
No, my name is Bob.
No, you're not. You're Sven.
No,
Hey, Evie, Sven Goran Eriksson's in our shop. You know, manager of the England football team.
No, I am a farmer.
What's he doing?
I have many sheep.
He's buying the Guardian.
And goats, many sheep and goats.
See?
Oh, so it is. Why's he buying the Guardian?
And llamas.
Find out how to win the World Cup in the essential 100-page guide. Free with The Guardian tomorrow.
Cornetto. It just takes one.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
A folding knife with a blade under 3 inches and non-locking is legal to carry any time. Okay. Legal to carry one. However, I put it to you that that very same knife might be, in certain circumstances, regarded as an offensive weapon, although not automatically so under the law as it stands. Do you know, that reminds me of something. Do you know I once came second in a least noticeable wig competition?
Second?
Second, yeah.
I thought you were a winner, James.
Oh, Rumpole of the Bailey won it.
Oh.
Right, are we going to talk to him?
Yeah.
After everything you've said about him. Tony and Blakely.
Hi, James.
Tony, welcome aboard Key 103. Isn't it great to have me back and know that once again you and I can really make entertaining and stimulating and occasionally provocative radio?
It certainly is, but well, I've just got a quick gag for you. Well, for you and all our fellow Manx.
All the Hillmans, yes?
Yeah. Why do Blackpool have donkeys and Liverpool have scousers?
Right, yeah, go on, this quick fire. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't.
Because Blackpool won the toss.
And what did the donkey say?
Well, just another one now. You talk. This is an old one, though.
Okay. I'm here all week.
Yeah, you're talking about a bloke with a nut stuck in his lung before.
Aye, cashew nut, yeah. 18 months it had been there.
18 months, yeah. Well, this bloke goes to the doctors and he's got a peanut stuck in his butt up his bum.
Yeah. Oh, no, this is appalling.
I know, and the doctor said, well, just drink loads and loads of hot chocolate.
Yeah.
It'll come out a treat.
It'll come out a treat, yeah. You see, unfortunately, they're called M&M's now.
Yeah, well...
But yeah, you know about the bloke with the, he was having trouble with his, he thought it might be a touch of the Rockfords, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, he went to the, he had a look, because he had a rear view mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And, do you know, I know the bloke who, he was from Manchester, the bloke who invented the rear view mirror.
Was he?
Did you know that? And since he invented it, he's never looked back.
There you go.
So, he gets in, and he can see, he got a lettuce coming out of his backside. So he thinks, what's that? So, what's that doing there? So he goes to the quack, and the quack says, well, you better have a,
Salad.
Eh?
Salad.
No, shut
sorry.
up! Why is everybody doing this tonight? Finishing off me...
Go on.
So you can't do it? So he says, well, bend over the table. Betty Grable. And he said, what do you think it is? He said, I don't know, but it could be the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, no. That's rubbish.
There you go.
Because he had a letter. Is that it?
My punchline was better than that.
I'd rather have the treat one.
Right out, Tony. Well, there we go.
John in Salford says, "Hi James, you know the Dorothy competition that Q103 are running? Is the answer Donald Pleasance?"
Donald Pleasance?
He wants to know if
he's
he's
a
won
little
a night
baldy
out.
man. Look like Fabian Barthez.
Barthez is quite tall, isn't he?
Yeah, but he looked like him apart from being... Well, no, he's not that tall. But anyway, that's not important. He looked like him. He's the one in The Great Escape who can't see, but pretends he can.
Right.
He doesn't see the...
Oh!
He doesn't see the helicopter. What?
Has he won a night out in Doncaster with Dorothy?
God, no, I wouldn't do that to anybody.
Jack in Hyde says, "Hello, Grandad. Take your wig off." Silly.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Jay Clitheroe in Oldham. Jay Clitheroe, Oldham. Is there a joke there?
Jimmy Clitheroe. Yeah. Well, no. Well, let's put it. Look, it depends how you put the question. Is there meant to be a joke there? Possibly. Is there one?
No.
Certainly not.
Glad to hear you're back. I sincerely hope you didn't let the side down by walking around with your beer gut hanging over the top of your Speedos.
Beer gut? Beer gut? Look at that.
By the way, was
Can't
there
pinch an inch there, son.
any white dog poo where you were staying?
No, they round them all up there.
This mystery actor that we're looking for, has he only got one leg in real life, or is he acting as a one-legged man? Can you clarify?
We'll have to look into that. We'll have to get Dorothy back on that one. I'll tell you something. There is a fortune awaiting the man who can invent something which can convincingly look as if you've had your hand cut off without actually doing it. Because whenever you see it, right, whenever you see like a pirate and he's supposed to have a hook.
Oh, the action of quitting your... Oh, right, no, you actually mean that. Go on.
No. To look as if, like, you can do like the one-legged bit by fastening it up behind you and making sure you always shoot it from a certain angle so you can't see your foot sticking out.
Yeah.
Right? But no one has yet come up with a convincing way of depicting someone who's had their hand cut off. Even like Dr. No, you could tell he'd just got a thing over his hand and was holding like an egg whisk thing, right? And you can tell, because he's pretending he's got no arm, but no hand. But obviously, his arm is then the length of a hand longer than it ought to be.
Yeah.
And you can see like the fabrics all right. So that is, if somebody can do that. I don't know. You just.
You couldn't pin it back.
No, they'll have to do it with computer. In Saving Private Ryan, Steven Spielberg got round this by recruiting people who really had their arms and legs blown off.
Clever.
Yeah. But that is a bit, especially if you're only doing like a summer season. You don't want to go to all that trouble, do you? Right.
Linda in Lee says, "Hello James, this one-legged man that Dorothy's trying to find, has anything to do with The Fugitive? Wasn't Richard Kimball looking for a one-legged man? Is that the answer?" I don't think that's the answer, is it?
I can't speak.
And Moira says...
Help me.
"Hi James, we the members of the JLF, that's the Jackie Liberation Front, are yet again asking about the Q103 We Love Jackie badges. You were looking into it. You were looking into it further, or are you still looking into it? Don't make us come down there."
No, don't come down there.
There's been no emails about my birthday, you know, which is the 8th of June in just 3 days time.
Oh, right, that's a tricky one, wasn't it? Oh, that old calendar certainly had me going there.
It's because it's just turned midnight.
Right.
3 days!
A penknife could be used as an offensive weapon, so could a pint glass or an ashtray. Right. Also, if you were a baseball batsman, I think they're called batters, why would you need a mitt? Well, you might be so good you could hit it and run around and catch it.
Yeah.
Oh, shut your face. And why do English people keep saying it's time for somebody to come to the plate, right? Why do we don't need to do that. What we need to do is say, come to the wicket, obviously. Howdy in Gorton says, Evening James, as Key 103's military expert, can I ask a question? I saw Ivor Emanuel singing Men of Harlech last Monday, and I was wondering if that was true. Did they really sing like that? Or was it just for the film? Well, I don't want to go off down the Rorke's Drift path again, which we have taken down that old Rorke's Drift trail, because it is a well-trodden path now. I think it was just in there for the film, to be honest. In the various histories, including a very good one by a bloke from Eccles, of Rorke's Drift, that incident is not documented, and doubt is cast upon it by virtue of the fact that the 24th Regiment of Foot were composed largely of Brummies, I'm afraid. I don't know where the Welsh thing came from, but they were mostly sort of Warwickshire and far west Midlands. Not really many Welsh people, many Welshmen in the 24th Foot. Sorry to be the one to break it to you. Yeah, there you go. What time is it now? 22 minutes past midnight. We have tales for you, and also, I must do the rubber band collection. That's coming along famously and has been strengthened by receipts of numerous packages during the hiatus, including one which says on it very entertainingly, this is rather clever. Oh, I can't find it now. Is it that one? Yeah, it's here we are. This is from Spanner Swirly Flow III in London North 7, and he says, hello there, some bands for the collection, mainly from, this is their provenance, Brick Lane, London East 1, Raw, Hornsey Road, North 7, Dangerous, and Fitzroy Yard, North West 1, Posh. Best regards. P.S. I listen every night via the website, and tell my pals too. Well, I'm glad you do, Mr. Swirly Flow. And entertainingly, I must admit, there are moments when you do please me. And he's written the address on the front and put underneath it, please do not bounce. Which I think that's quite witty, actually. How did that get in here? Right, off to Bagley in a second. And, I mean, Jackie, oh God, there's some bonding. Oh, dear, that's appalling. Bit of girl-on-girl action taking place in the foyer. Yeah, you'll just have to excuse me for a minute or two.
There are various ways to get hold of £25,000. You could meet Noel Edmonds and then stand like a lemon staring at some empty suitcases while he pretends to be talking to someone on the phone.
Hello.
Then risk losing it all and go home having won enough to buy a mini Mars bar. Or you could listen out for 3 songs in a row. Nice one. The £25,000 triple play, where you win loads of money without having to meet Noel Edmonds.
Manchester's #1 hit music station, Key 103.
This is The Stories' self-titled album. Wonderful songs and instinctively beautiful harmonies. An incredibly accomplished debut album. Includes the singles Be By Your Side and Cinnamon. A band with live performances not to be missed. Catch The Stories on the road with Elton John this summer. The Stories album is a perfectly polished gem. It's out now.
You're an electrician. You're self-employed and on a job. You have to reach up to feed some cables through, so you stand on a table. You're only 1 metre off the floor. What's the worst that could happen?
Hi, I'm Dr. Marsden. I'm afraid it looks like you fractured your spine, so I'm referring you to our spinal injury specialist.
Last year, over 2,000 people seriously injured themselves falling from low heights in the workplace. Don't be one of the casualties this year. Call 0845 345 0055 for information on how to be safe at all heights. Be safe, be careful, and take a moment. not a fool.
Okay, this is Mike. He's new to the group. Mike?
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm Mike, and I'm an investment banker. I've been a banker for 12 years now, but I've never really liked it, so I'm determined to quit this time.
If you don't like your job, do something about it. Society Guardian Live is at Manchester's GMEX on June the 7th and 8th, with careers in public services and the voluntary sector. Visit societyguardian.co.uk/live.
Okay, give me the results.
Tractor production, down. Beetroot yield, down. Cabbage...
Enough! Why are they so lazy?
We suspect Monarch's revolutionary bargain hunter service, sir.
Ah, yes, where you can find all their cheapest fares. Not that I would use such a decadent service.
Oh, of course not, sir. Nor enjoy the extras like allocated seating and free newspapers.
What? The salt mines need more people, you know.
Bargain hunt your brakes at flymonarch.com.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right. That railway incident, the one where the bloke got the iron bar through his brain, he was known as Phineas Cage. Oh, that sounds like something you'd send off from a specialist catalogue. He did suffer effects, behavioural problems. Well, I said, yeah, he got a seat at United. Thank you. Phineas Cage, I'll look that up later. And, Harrison here, please say hi to Zvi and Haggis, you are a Meshuggah. Thanks very much indeed. Let's, even Bagley's better than this, I would say so, yeah. Hello, Bagley, come in, Bagley.
Even Bagley? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Aye, well, indeed, yeah. I take it they won't run out, the incapacity benefits run out, has it?
Well, yeah, they won't let you claim it abroad, you see.
Oh, it's a shame. I take it you've come back all tanned and voluptuous, have you?
Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to tell you something. As soon as I'm going to have another attempt at the website, but I'm telling you this because I feel that we know each other now. And I know that we're, we can talk to each other about things. Things.
Yeah. In a kind of manly way.
Well, yeah.
Not verging on the homosexual at all.
Well, not at this stage, no.
No.
Okay. And, anyway, it does concern underpants.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Because, I don't know about yourself, but I'm not the sort of person who, buys a pair of underpants hither and thither. You know what I mean?
They've got to be carefully selected.
Well, it's not so much that, but I like to buy them in bulk.
Right. What, off Longsight Market? six for £1.
No, I did that once. It said slight seconds.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And the only thing wrong was one of the legs was a bit shorter than the other two. So, what I don't think, this week I might buy a pair of underpants. And next week none, and then the week after perhaps two. I go out and buy 7 pairs.
Right. Yeah.
All at once.
Right, and that does you then for the next sort of 10 years.
Until they're completely shot through. Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the point. I'm gonna put this on the website tonight if I think on. I go and they actually had got a bit of an offer on. It was like buy one get one free. Oh no, get one half price. So I stocked up, and they come in they've got like a cardboard thing wrapped round them for display purposes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking, and on the back there's a photograph of a bloke stood there wearing a pair of these underpants.
He wasn't looking at his wristwatch and pointing into the far distance, was he?
In the Freeman's style.
Yeah, because it usually does, doesn't it? You know?
In the great universal pose.
Yes.
No.
Or J.G. Williams on Marshall Ward.
It's just... That sounds like a race meeting.
Yeah.
I can't... Has he got his arms folded? Anyway, whatever. But there's this very strange thing. Underneath the photograph, it's got in tiny letters...
Serving suggestion.
That was funny. That was funny. I nearly said very funny. It wasn't very funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, it said, photograph for shape only.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh dear.
What now? I don't understand that.
For shape only?
Yeah. There's a bloke standing there in his underpants.
Oh, well, you see, this is very similar to the serving suggestion thing. You know, they have to put that on as a legal disclaimer. Because you think to yourself sometimes, like when you buy a packet of Paxo or any other proprietary stuffing mix, many of which are available, and you see like a full...
Wait a minute, of all the things you can buy...
Yeah.
Why do you use Paxo?
Well, because Paxo, it's got like a full row.
Oh?
Is it gone?
Oh, what's happened?
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's been vaporised.
He's put that invisible coat on.
I know, he needs to get hold of something metal.
Am I there?
Hey, well, you tell me, sunshine.
Right, anyway, so when you see this packet of Paxo, on the front of this packet of Paxo, it's got a full roast dinner on it. And the reason why they have to put serving suggestion on it is because some numbnuts might think that the roast dinner comes with the Paxo.
It's like when you get a hairdryer and they say, do not use in a bath.
No, it's not.
It is, because people are stupid.
That's a different thing. No, you open the box, if it says one Pifco or another reliable hairdryer, you open the box and expect to find a hairdryer in there, right?
Yeah.
You don't, people are expecting, they probably think you just add water and it turns into a £14 turkey.
That could be a new... listen, listen, I'm talking.
Hey.
That could be a new little competition for people to send in ridiculous serving suggestions.
We might...
on packets.
Yeah, I think we can...
Do you think the show's got that bad?
Yeah, I think it probably has, yeah.
No, but you can put them on the website, can't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous things like you buy a packet of Nitol or any other similar kind of sleep aid, and it says may cause drowsiness.
Oh yeah, right.
I
Had all that stuff.
Anyway, you were talking about...
I was going to say, yeah. Yeah, on that, it's also legislation that if you... do you know, I've not had one of these for years. A Vesta dehydrated...
Oh dear, I've had one of them recently.
You've not? I thought they stopped making them.
Well, when I say recently, like within the last 10 years, you know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Just got it by the sell-by date.
I think so, and I think it's still sitting there actually. Yeah, in the large intestine. Yeah.
It was, I suppose it was like space food, really. A dehydrated paella, or
a curry, or a chicken curry.
All the ingredients were in different envelopes.
That's right. Yeah.
Like boiling a bag.
No, nothing like boiling a bag.
Oh no, nothing like boiling a bag. Boiling the bag is hoped, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
with Master, eh?
That's natural. No, this was dehydrated, and you opened. You could get risotto.
Yeah.
Could you get a curry?
You get a curry. A paella.
Paella, yeah.
Yeah.
And a vanilla.
A what?
No, you couldn't get that one then. No.
A vanilla.
Yeah. And you could get there's two envelopes. One had the rice or the whatever in it.
Yeah.
And you cut the top off, and then to put the correct amount of water, you use the same foil envelope, and it had, a dotted line round it.
Oh, horrible.
Fill up to it. And then there was another packet marked curry flavoured slime.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, and it had raisins in it as well.
Yeah.
Curry with raisins in it. Ugh.
Anyway, under European legislation, if you show the the ingredients, you have to show everything.
Yeah.
You have to show everything that's in there.
Right.
So, if you looked closely at a box of Vesta risotto, it had got like red peppers and all this, that and the other, and wild rice, And also, in one corner, it had 6 little piles of white powder. Yeah.
What, the monosodium glutamate?
Monosodium sodium chloride.
Yeah.
And something else to stop it, to stop the salt from sticking together. But by law, they had to show those little piles of chemicals that were in it.
Oh, God.
That's a fact, that.
Oh, dear. Anyway, listen, the reason I've come on, you were talking earlier on about people having various things inserted inside the body, and I've got quite an interesting story here from the Civil War, the American Civil War. I don't know if you want to hear it or not.
Right. Well, if I could just say at this point, I don't think that's exactly what we were talking about, but...
No, yeah, people having various things inserted inside, and what have you, yes.
Yeah, well, the Mr. Phineas Cage, which I'm still not convinced about...
No.
I don't think he had much say in the matter.
No, and did you see the fellow in Canada the other week who tried to commit suicide by using a nail gun and putting, I think he put 12 4-inch nails into his head, 6 on each side, and survived.
Yeah.
Survived, yeah, with no apparent problems.
When he got to 8, do you think?
Well, you would have thought so. He'd have given up, wouldn't he? You know what I mean? And yeah, but...
Is there a punchline to this?
No, not at all, no.
Right.
In the paper, they showed an X-ray of his skull with, 12 nails in it. Anyway, this one, it's from the Lancet, and it goes as follows. L.G. Capers of Vicksburg, Mississippi, relates an incident during the late Civil War as follows. A matron and her 2 daughters, aged 15 and 17 years, filled with the enthusiasm of patriotism, stood ready to minister to the wounds of their countrymen in their fine residence near the scene of the Battle of Red River, May 12, 1863, between a portion of Grant's army and some Confederates. During the fray, a gallant and noble young friend of the narrator staggered and fell to the earth. At the same time, a piercing cry was heard in the house nearby. Examination of the wounded soldier showed that a bullet had passed through the scrotum and carried away the left testicle. The same bullet had apparently penetrated the left side of the abdomen of the elder young lady, midway between the umbilicus and the anterior superior spinous process of the ilium, between the belly button and the front hip bone, and had become lost in the abdomen. This daughter suffered an attack of peritonitis, but recovered in 2 months under the treatment administered. Marvellous to relate, just 278 days after the reception of the mini ball, she was delivered of a fine boy weighing 8 pounds to the surprise of herself and the mortification of her parents and friends. She insisted on her virginity and innocence and was examined and found still to be Virgo intacta. About 3 weeks after this remarkable birth, Dr. Capers was called to see the infant, and the grandmother insisted there was something wrong with the child's genitals. Examination showed a rough, swollen and sensitive scrotum containing some hard substance. He operated and extracted a smashed and battered mini ball. The doctor, after some meditation, theorised in this manner. He concluded that this was the same ball that had carried away the testicle of his young friend, that had penetrated the ovary of the young lady, and with some spermatozoa upon it had impregnated her. With this conviction, he approached the young man and told him the circumstances. The soldier appeared sceptical at first, but consented to visit the young mother. A friendship ensued, which soon ripened into a happy marriage, and the pair had 3 children, none resembling in the same degree as the first, the heroic paterfamilias. It's quite a good story, isn't it?
It's very interesting, and certainly it must have taken quick thinking on her part.
To come up with that.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. But, well, there you go anyway, so...
Yeah,
and that's from that.
It's an interesting story, but it's a bit of a long shot.
And you know what we've been starved of that over the last 2 weeks?
What?
That kind of,
Thingy?
Thingy. On the hoof, that kind of on the hoof banter.
Yeah, well, from the same, on the hoof banter, yeah. The same, at the same battle, another fellow was shot, jumping over a trench by a lurking Confederate, who was shot...
Is that a breed of dog?
No.
Oh, right.
And he was rushed. He was in a bad way, and he said to the doctor, he said, "And what happened?" He said, "Well, doctor," he said, "I was jumping over a trench, and a Confederate in the bottom of the trench fired his musket upwards. Could have been a rifle. And he said, and it hit me in the, well, he said, I don't like to say. And the doctor said, rectum. He said, well, it hasn't done him any good.
Oh, blimey.
I'm here all week.
Hey, yeah, blimey.
Yeah.
It was only you and Noel Coward doing this kind of stuff at one time, wasn't it?
It was, that's correct, yes.
Hey, and when he packed in the banjo, you were in there like a shot, weren't you?
Stop saying hey, get off. Thank you. 20 minutes to 1. There's a lot of strange, oh yeah, don't forget the Vesta Classic Chicken Supreme.
And chow mein.
And chow mein. I'd forgot. Oh, I can feel a nostalgia moment coming on here. What else is there?
We'll be testing it in here soon, won't we?
Oh, we've still got the condensed milk.
It's upstairs.
It should still be alright, actually. Ooh, lovely. Go and get us a spoon. Right. Bend over. Says, what happens if you carry a garden trowel past a policeman? Is that an offence in this so politically correct country? I don't know. Try it.
Yeah, try it. Let us know.
Yeah. See what goes on. There was something else that was funny before, but I can't find it. Oh, yeah. As a scout leader, what happens if I get stopped with a Leatherman? Wait, now that's like an all-purpose tool thing. And that has a locking blade.
Oh, it sounds nasty.
That'd be. Suppose I had one on my way to Scouts. Well, you know, Scout leaders.
Don't you?
Probably best arresting them all anyway.
Yeah,
to be on the
I
safe
reckon.
side, I would have thought.
Round them up.
Yeah, that's just a light-hearted remark.
Yeah.
Well, the nearest we're going to get to it. Oh, look at the time. Another one of these coming up.
Key 103.
This is the Stories self-titled album. Wonderful songs and instinctively beautiful harmonies. An incredibly accomplished debut album. Includes the singles Be By Your Side and Cinema. A band with live performances not to be missed. Catch the Stories on the road with Elton John this summer. The Stories album is a perfectly polished gem. It's out now.
G'day, Ned. G'day, Bruce. Hey. Yeah, mate. My girlfriend just got this bonza deal on her car insurance from Sheila's Wheels. Oh, that's unbelievable. Straight up, Sheila's Wheels car insurance for women. No, I mean, it's unbelievable you've got a girlfriend.
A deal, girls, call 0800 085 6919 or visit SheilasWheels.com. Terms and conditions apply.
You won't believe this.
What?
It says here that Santa Claus was born right here in Turkey.
Ah, that's right, near Patara Beach.
Well, it's so beautiful here, it's no wonder he only works one day a year.
Turkey, the Mediterranean, and more.
Hi, a copy of The Guardian, please.
Sure. Hey, you're Sven Goran Eriksson.
No, my name is Bob.
No, you're not. You're Sven.
No,
Hey, Evie, Sven Goran Eriksson's in our shop.
Who?
You know, manager of the England football team.
No, I am a farmer.
What's he doing?
I have many sheep.
He's buying The Guardian.
And goats, many sheep and goats.
See?
Oh, so it is. Why's he buying The Guardian?
And llamas.
Find out how to win the World Cup in the essential 100-page guide. Free with The Guardian today.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I was just going to look something up then. I can't remember what it was. No, it's gone. Was it?
That food.
Yeah, it might have been. I'll do it anyway. Go on, you were going to tell us about you see, the thing is this. I've got to tell you something now.
Go on.
I was at a do.
A do.
A do, yeah. With, a very famous, very famous, ex-football actually. And, oh, they still make, Vesta meals are back. Oh dear. Yeah, he was telling us, like, while having a drink, he was telling some really, really funny stories about his career in the game. Things that you would never know, because like they were happening in the dressing room or on the pitch where they couldn't be overheard and what have you. And when he stood up to tell his stories, he didn't tell any of them. He was rubbish. But really
disappointed.
Yeah, really funny stories while we were sat having a drink. So there we are. So yeah. So he told us this. He told us this story. Yeah, that's right. In front of 45,000 people. He kicked me teeth out. He kicked me 4 front teeth out, while the referee and all the players and all the crowd were all looking to see whether my shot was going to go in the goal. Right? The goalkeeper kicked me in the face, knocked me 4 front teeth out.
Never told that
Never
story.
told it. No. Anyway, no names, no pat drill.
No.
Right. For a variety of reasons.
I was going to tell you about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were telling us these stories. That's really. Tune up. Jackie has been on like a floating version of Big Brother and has actually paid for the privilege.
Well, not that much, because we got it last minute, which is always good when you go on these holidays and you say, when did you book it? Oh, they say we booked it last year, we came on this last year. And they say, how about you? He said, last week. Oh no, don't tell me how much you got it for.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And then a couple of days in they say, how much did you get it for? And it's a margin of what they paid.
Tell me something. Why is it that now let me get this right, with holidays and airline travel, the closer to the flight or the holiday you leave it, the cheaper it is?
Because they want to put bums on seats, don't they? So they'd rather get 100 quid from me than nothing.
Then why is it that with railways it's exactly the opposite way around?
I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? I don't know.
Because I thought, like, if you turn up at 3 minutes to 10 on Piccadilly Station, you get a seat for, give us 12 quid.
Yeah, no, right? It's not the same.
No.
It's strange.
Do you know I'm to a mate of mine? He got on the train at midday, I think, at Euston.
Right.
And thought, right.
You didn't bump into someone that he didn't like or anything like that?
No. He got on the train and he thought, he'd not booked. He thought, I'll get on, and it was heaving. But like, it wasn't in rush hour. It wasn't like before 9:30.
Right.
It was like, what do they leave? Is it half? I don't know whether they're on the hour or the half hour. Anyway, it was around about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
Off peak. Got on. They were standing on each other's heads in the second class. So he thought, I'll go in first class.
Yeah.
Because like at the weekend, you could upgrade for like a tenner or something. You could at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you can now.
Well, no, he can confirm that. Because he thought, well, at least, and I'll get a bit of a vegetarian falafel.
Latte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he says, right, can I have a single to Manchester, please? Yeah, right.
Oh, no.
That'll be £320. God. Or was it 320 or 230?
Did he try and move out of
I think it was £230. £230, please. To travel 200 miles.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Well, this only cost us,
He did get 3 samosas.
Well, there you
and
go,
a serviette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a free drink.
Yeah.
Well.
But you can go to Geneva for about £18.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's mad, isn't it? We got this for about 150 each flights, and it was a gullet cruise.
Oh, was it there?
Sounds posh, doesn't it? So there was 10 of us on this boat.
Was the former Holland International and Newcastle manager there?
No.
Oh.
We had a captain, a chef, and 2 deckhands. And there was a couple of girls from the South End.
Yeah.
And there's a couple from North Wales. The type of couple who've been everywhere. That's all they talk about. When they went to this place and that place and this place and that.
Right. So obviously they must have been everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So you book a holiday for, what was it, a week?
Yeah.
With 10 people.
Yeah.
You've never met before in your life?
Mhm.
And this is, you don't get off the boat?
No. Well, you do a couple of times. We had an afternoon shopping, but we all went together.
So, you're for a week, you are in a confined space
Yeah.
with 10 people you've never met before in your
Yeah.
life?
Or 14, including the crew.
Well, right, yeah. But they presumably they've got things to do.
So you can imagine how it would make or break your holiday. A little bit.
Yeah.
But actually they were alright. And there's a couple from America who live in Norfolk now and work in the military base down there.
Yeah.
And it was the most brilliant thing to watch, because there's another couple from Norfolk. But of course when you've got Americans, they do have a tendency to...
Get right up your nose.
They were alright, but yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But one of the lads from Norfolk was a farmer, and he was sat on the back of the boat, and we're into sort of day 2, so we're still all sort of getting to know each other and, you know, not talking much, as you do. And he was sat there sunbathing after breakfast, and the American girl went up to him and said, "Oh, you pooped." And
Oh dear.
and he said,
Well, I can't guess exactly what's coming.
and he said, "No."
What's happening here?
No, not yet. I haven't needed to.
Brilliant.
She didn't get it.
Oh, what?
And
The American didn't get it?
No.
How can a story end like that?
It was the funniest thing. She says, "Oh, you pooped." He says, "No, not yet. I haven't needed to."
Nearly, but I'm... Yeah. Well, and she didn't get it. Now, you see, a British person would have immediately assumed that was a gag, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Was it a gag? Or
No, he didn't know. I think he thought, well, obviously he thought she'd asked, "Have you pooped?"
Yeah, was there a bit of it? He genuinely thought she'd asked him about the state of his bowels?
Yeah.
Right. Jackie's
So
wiping her eyes on the sleeve of her cardigan. I'm sorry if, using the word cardigan has destroyed any picture you might have had.
There was all sorts of incidents like that. But one of my favourites was the, and I'm not sure how much I can say about this really, because it might be something that actually turns out to be true later on. But
oh, well, we move in a web of secret agents and you've just
we might have uncovered.
Bloke in Doncaster's just sorted out apparently you can see the shape of a chicken in the map of Washington, chicken or whatever.
I mean, you wouldn't think from a week in Turkey that you'd uncover a terrorist cell, but we might have done.
Go on, what?
On the last night, went to this restaurant. The American couple had been during the day, came back and said, "Let's go and have some cheesecake and wine," blah, blah, blah. So 6 of us went.
Cheesecake and wine?
Cheesecake and wine, yeah. Because we ate on the boat, you see, but then we could have, we could get off and do what we wanted. So they said, "Let's go and have some dessert and wine in this bar on the last night." So
not cheese and wine?
No, cheesecake and wine.
That's 2 things, not 3. Not cheese.
No.
Right.
Cheesecake is in the dessert.
Yeah.
And wine.
Okay.
So we go to this bar, and on the way, the American guy says, "Don't mention that we're in the military." Oh, okay. I don't know why, but he said, "I'll tell you later if you want to know." Okay. So we go into this restaurant, we have the cheesecake, we have the wine, and they're very sort of pally with the owner, and at the end, they said, "Can you take a picture with us and the owner?" So I said, "Yeah, fine." Get together, smile, took the picture, and make sure you get the sign in. Okay, got the sign in.
What sign?
The sign of the bar.
All right.
Okay. As we were leaving, I said, by this point I'm thinking, why not mention that they're in the military, and why take a photo of this guy? So we leave, and so I asked, why did you not want them to know? Well, it turns out that the owner of the bar was talking to them earlier in the day when they'd been, and mentioned that he went to university in Texas. So alarm bells started to ring. because according to this guy, that's where terrorists are going to university undercover, using it as a cover.
Terrorists go to Texas University
to get degrees in engineering.
Right.
Okay, but that's not it, because then he said that he visits Florida, which is another...
That's where those Herberts learnt to fly, wasn't it?
Yeah, another hotbed.
Yeah.
So now he's taking it back to his bosses, this picture, to...
To what?
To investigate.
To investigate what?
Him. And do you know what he said? She said, we're a bit worried about telling you because you might think we're crazy Americans.
To which I hope you replied, the minute I set eyes on... Oh, the minute I discovered you were American. I assumed you were round the bend.
I mean, comments like, oh, we don't watch television because we like to be educated, so we don't watch any TV. I'd prefer to read an educational book. So I'd be making gags like, what, the Mr. Man? And they didn't understand, they just didn't get it at all. And
well, I can explain that. Yeah.
And then they talk about the favourite episode of Friends or something. And, I mean, they might see it as educational. I don't know. Crazy.
Well, it's taught me
I
a
doubt
lesson.
it. Yeah.
It's taught me how... What a short time it takes for something that you once thought was funny to turn out to be not funny at all.
Mm.
Yeah. Right. Oh, and there is something... I meant to look it up. There is a comedy series on now which is less funny than My Family.
What is it?
Can't remember. I think was it on Saturday tea time. I'll find out for you. It is crap. It is absolutely appalling, unfunny. You can see, oh, that's a witty line. That's a witty riposte. Sitting around my middle class breakfast table. Right. But in actual fact, it's not funny. You know the sort of thing I mean.
I know.
But I was watching it and I thought, well, that's remarkable. At first I thought it was My Family, because it was like the same sort of script, but different people.
I watched a fair bit of...
The only thing that was missing was Jeffrey Palmer, because he's like about as unfunny as you can get.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, hurry up.
A fair bit of Deal or No Deal whilst we're on holiday.
Oh!
Hey, it's reaching, they all hold hands in the audience.
It's solved it, Graham. Have you seen who's in Dictionary Corner?
No, don't watch Countdown.
Do you know who's in Dictionary Corner? I don't know whether he's finished his stint now.
Isn't some kid winning it or something?
He's won it, yeah. He's 9 or something, yeah. Dictionary Corner.
Go on.
Ron Atkinson?
No.
Yes! Yeah, hey. I couldn't believe it.
What a choice.
Hey?
Do you think that's a contact?
What?
With Des?
Oh, well, turning into Frankie Howard. Oh. I don't know what's happened there, but you dread to think some of the words will come up with, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And the conundrum, I hope he's careful.
It has to be.
Right, yeah, I should have thought, I'd forgotten that, really. I should have written all these things down while I was in, Das Speedy Moo. But, I'm surprised I've not had a, yeah. Hello, why you making fun? You need... I'm sorry, the impersonation of foreigners is not permissible.
No.
Right, but I was just so pleased to be away from all this that I thought, no, just relax. Put it all out of my mind. And then, sadly, I get back in, it's all too real. Too real to contemplate, frankly. Anyway, look, we got through tonight, unscathed. Yeah. I can't believe that we're going to have to do another one tomorrow.
And the next
I think they should break us in more gently. But let's kick this in the head for now. You've got an hour of non-stop hit music. I can remember all this. Coming up after the news, and then Sam Walker with you at 2 till 6 on Key 103. Then it's till in the morning at 6 o'clock.